KELTEC is a proud sponsor of the Talking Lead podcast and the Leadhead Brigade.
And our co-host, Charlie Chuck Norris. The only fur Chuck Norris you know.
Oh, it is? 500?
10 years, 500.
Wow.
Yeah. No offense, Marty, but I can't wait until you leave. I do that at night on my phone. I've been dying to gut at least my half of the office, take everything out and put half of it back in, maybe.
Honestly, you need some of those kind of mounting walls over here.
We've
that blank space.
Yeah, that's part of the plan. 4 o'clock comes like that. 5 o'clock, 6 o'clock comes like that, and we're out. We're like, damn, we didn't order any tactical walls. You know, we didn't do this, any of that. I have to like pick up on it tomorrow, like, because those are just like non-essential things
right
over here.
Like tactical walls from Tim?
Yeah, he actually made mounts specifically for KELTEC guns.
Oh, okay. Nice.
So they sit nice and level. You can't see the mounts. They look amazing. So
when are those coming?
Because everything else before that was for standard product, Glock pistols and AR rifles and that kind of thing. So we had to make those work with our guns. We made it work, but it didn't look right. So he's just like, I'm just going to make custom ones for you guys. And so anybody that's got KELTECs now can get those hooks for the tactical walls. It looks awesome.
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice. So, Leadheads, we are in Cocoa, Florida. This is our 500th episode. Thought we would do it upright for our 500th episode. 10 years of legislating the unlegislated here on Talking Lead Podcast. Welcome in. Thanks for tuning in. And this is a little more relaxed setting than usual.
Then SHOT Show.
Than SHOT Show or NRA. Yeah.
Awesome.
When you guys are normally on.
Yeah, a lot less noise, right?
A lot less noise. Yeah, definitely.
That's nice. You got a dog over there and a bunch of guns surrounding
Got
us.
to watch the dog to keep the people off our backs, keep the crowd away.
Yeah.
Yeah. So there's a reason why I'm here in Cocoa, Florida, visiting the good folks at KELTEC. As our listeners can hear and our viewers can see, we've got our good buddy Chad, no stranger to the show. You've been with us since almost the beginning.
Yeah, 10 years.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, it was the beginning, I'm pretty sure.
The very beginning.
Yeah.
You were one of our first guests we had.
When you had that massive sidekick.
the Squatch.
The Squatch.
The Squatch, yeah.
Yeah, I remember.
I
remember the first. I don't know how I remember this because of brain injuries and stuff, but I remember the very first time I was on. You were on a platform at the top of SHOT Show. I don't remember whose platform.
It was the Lone Wolf.
Yeah.
Lone Wolf.
Yeah, I went upstairs. I don't know if you came by and said, "Hey, come get on the show" or whatever, but somebody did.
Yeah.
And I ended up there, and when I sat down, you were interviewing, like, there were like 3 other people at the table, I think, besides you guys, and all 3 of them were like heroes of mine in the industry. And I was super nervous to sit down and talk with you guys. A couple 3-gunners and I think military guy, I can't remember who it was, but I was up there like, oh shit, like,
was that an NRA? That was NRA, wasn't it?
I don't know if it was NRA. One of the two.
It might have been
shows.
like one of our seconds. Our very first show was NRA in, I believe it was Dallas. And I mean, that's when we just first started.
It could have been.
We didn't know anybody.
It could have been.
And that's where we met Jim Irwin for the first time.
Yeah.
We were both using the same publicist.
The Kraken.
Yeah. Yeah. And so he's been a part of the show too.
Yeah. So yeah, just imagine being like a new guy in the industry. Yeah, relatively new, and I was here long enough to build up some heroes, like people that in the industry that I really admired and stuff. And then when I got to the table, I'm like, oh man, they're all here.
But that was
what do I say?
That was you, because prior to getting into this, I would watch the Boob Tube and Nothing Fancy. You know, we were talking about Nothing Fancy earlier. Yeah. He was one of my jams that I watched on YouTube, and him and Hickok and all the old school guys, IV88, Eric. Those guys.
Those videos are really fun, at least for me to watch, because I have no beard. So when I got I had no beard,
baby face.
Yeah, and I mean, I knew I knew KELTEC. Like, I was an expert in KELTEC weapons and designs and knowing how to explain and market and sell, all that kind of stuff. But I didn't know anything else about the rest of the industry. So anytime the conversations, and you can go back and watch those videos, like somebody in the crew will bring up another firearm or another whatever, or we'll shoot another gun or whatever, because we're using it to compare and contrast the difference between, say, a bullpup and a standard platform rifle or whatever. And it's clearly obvious I don't know anything about the other gun, but I know everything about the KELTEC stuff,
which is what you should know about.
Yeah, of course. But I mean, as you grow in the industry, you learn all the other weapon systems and stuff.
But that's how I knew of you, because I mean, you were famous.
I didn't
you're always on Nothing Fancy.
Yeah, I had no idea though.
It's like, man, I would love to go hang out with that dude. He seems like he's a cool dude. And then sure enough, you're up at our booth, and I was fanboying hard during that interview
funny.
with you. I probably said maybe 2 words. Zeke probably did all the interviewing, but
yeah, it's funny though to look back at that stuff, because now we're friends with all those people.
Yeah,
they're like, we're texting each other and stuff, and like all the people that were famous back then that we looked up to and stuff are just like buddies of ours now.
Yeah,
that's
the old school. Cool. We should do an old school show.
We do. We talked about that. We talked about it a little bit.
We need to get that together.
Yeah.
The KELTEC KSG 410 is the perfect sidekick with no kick. At just over 1.5 inches wide, just over 26 inches long, and just over 5 pounds, you'll be hard-pressed to find a more impressive 410 bore shotgun. In fact, it's the world's first and only pump-action 410 bore bullpup shotgun. The side-by-side dual feeding tubes and one in the chamber delivers an impressive 11-round total capacity, making it as functional as it is fun. Innovation. Performance. KELTEC.
But also join us. Let's not ignore our
little history lesson.
Our new guy. This is the first time you've been on the podcast, hasn't it?
Yep, that's
Derek.
Absolutely. So yeah, Adrian Kellgren.
Or Adrian, sorry.
Yeah, so we're 2 brothers here.
Brothers.
Did you just call him Derek?
I did.
You did.
I'm sorry.
No.
It's good. No worries. I don't appear very much on anything. I kind of just keep a low profile. I was pulled out of the dungeons of the factory to come out here and sit and talk with you guys. So
we appreciate you joining us. Again, this is historic for us, for Talking Lead. This is our 500th episode, so it is a pleasure to have you on. I wanted to get the whole family, but I know you guys are spread out.
Oh yeah,
doing business, making money.
Very, very, very difficult to get us all in the same room too. So it's fun. I was able to come out here and participate a little bit. Very mobile right now in my life, moving a lot. So
very mobile.
Yeah, I'm
enjoying
that. Sitting on a couch right now in a nice environment. So to help you guys with anything you guys need.
It is very difficult to catch Adrian, and you'll realize why once he explains what it is that he does here. So. Yeah, go ahead. Tell them what you do.
So I'm the director of industrial production here. So that's just a fancy name as being the operating guy. So I make sure that the plant is able to produce the products that millions of people enjoy around the world.
Yeah.
To make sure that the efficient manufacture is conducted, and that we don't put ourselves in situations that we are extended a product line. So if folks have a hard time finding our product, there's some method to that madness. Markets kind of fluctuate all the time. And, first and foremost, this business was built by my father, George Kellgren, who was a huge innovator in firearms design. And transitioning it over to a second generation to manage that, is a tremendous responsibility. But first and foremost, the loyalty for us goes to the employees here, every single one of them that put their talent into the products. We play defense for their livelihood, their healthcare, all that stuff. So, the decision makers always bias to make sure that everybody here is protected first and foremost. So we try to make sure that we're not overexpanded, and if the markets decline in any way, that there's no threat to folks' livelihoods. And, that keeps us in slow, steady growth over the years. You're looking multi-generational growth as opposed to short-term 5-year growth. But that, and then setting up a factory out in Wyoming, which kind of splits my time between here and there. Very mobile right now.
And that's something we've talked a little bit on the show. We've touched on the new factory that you guys have in Wyoming. I want to talk more about that as we get into it. But I was able to do a tour yesterday, and you were talking about the employees and how well that you guys take care of them, and it shows just going through and meeting some of them during the tour yesterday. I mean, everybody just seemed very happy and glad to be there, and they were enjoying their work, and you could just tell that they enjoy being here.
No, that's good to hear. I try to stay in all the departments. In some cases, I'm spending too much time in other departments, only because their work is generally fascinating to me.
Yeah.
And things I can do to help accelerate their output or providing suggestions. My background actually is military, so I jumped into this about 5 years ago. I was a Navy pilot for 15 years, deployed twice. North Arabian Sea, did deployments into Afghanistan. I flew E-2 Hawkeyes for 4.5 years, and then I was an instructor pilot in T-45s for another 4.5 years after that. And then I was in active reserves with the U.S. Navy flying in VR-58, doing 737-700s, which we call C-40s. So,
right.
Organizational processes is kind of a wheelhouse for me from the military. So, anytime I see that there's structural improvements in how, managers communicate or how things are structured, I kind of offer suggestions like that. And I think over the last 5 years, we've improved a lot there. There's certainly improvements to be done, and even more so now with a dislocated factory and how that model works within the entire coordination of our product lines. So those are interesting challenges, but not unlike anything what I've done before in the past.
So we Matt and I have been able to testify to this for a long time, because we were super excited to hear that Adrian was coming on board, and then when we realized what he was going to be doing here, we got really excited, because there was a hole there in our manufacturing process. Like we needed a guy, because it was spread out at the time through a lot of like what we call like the team leads and stuff on the floor. Now they didn't have that title; they were just managers that were just trying to herd cats basically in our factory. And not to say they weren't doing a decent enough job, but we needed somebody to come in.
Need some focus.
That had
focus everybody's energy.
Not just absolutely the focus, but not just the focus, but somebody with some authority. Because it was every time I went to the machine shop or needed something from engineering or whatever, like everyone was kind of like, I don't really know who you should talk to, And
so establishing the chain of command.
Yeah, exactly.
The military background.
Exactly.
Everybody needs a clear manager who then can. The litmus test for this thing is if your boss can't know you're doing a good job, that's not a good boss. If they can see the work you're doing and can tell you, hey, this is good, or hey, this is a process improvement I need to observe, that's great. We had many people who were reporting to managers who were in such dislocated environments that they wouldn't know what they did or can or even attest to whether or not the job they're doing is a good job or a bad job. But again, that's something that the military is structured in me, and that's very common. We have veterans come in all the time, and they can see the familiarity between how we're structured now and what they came from before. And now we're more leadership focused to make sure that the managers are appropriate in terms of their skill set, how they're engaging with employees, and we're seeing a lot of really good success with that. And right now, most of my job is just managing managers and making sure the quality of leadership is there to inspire others to promote our professionalism into the process.
And establishing that has taken
a while.
Yeah, it's taken the whole till now since he's been here.
How many years you been here now?
5 years.
5 years.
So it took 5 years, and there's still a lot to do. Cultural changes within organizations are very, very difficult. You have a lot of change resistance. You have a lot of buttons of heads, and then folks decide.
Especially with a company this size too. Yeah. I mean, you guys aren't like uber huge, but you're still a large manufacturer.
Yeah, going back to the employees you were talking about, everybody seems to be happy here. Well, all the people that Adrian had to step in and oversee have been here for years and years. Like some people had been here with George since the very beginning, since Grendel.
Yeah.
So you can imagine, like he's saying, like the structural or the pushback on the new structures and how things are going to be operating around here.
Change. People hate change.
And they weren't used to it. They embrace it now. They love it now because it's created a very efficient environment for them as well.
It makes their life easier. Even if it's like if life gets easier and it's different from how they're used to, they're always suspicious of that thing. And I get that. I'm the same way too. I don't like change, and nobody does. And so you have to understand what you're going into, and you make small little incremental change and make sure that the change has a definable improvement that they can see. And so they're more trusting with constant improvements in there. So it was an interesting process, but 5 years in.
Yeah, going back to that, so that process created a positive change for our employees, and now we're seeing the positive change for our customers. So they're seeing better products, they're seeing better manufacturing process, faster manufacturing. Right. We're way more efficient.
Which is always the ultimate end goal is to
and I just want to point out, we're just trying to keep up with George because he's like a kid in a candy shop. If you give him a computer and say design some guns, he's going to have like 10 of them for you tomorrow morning. Like he just loves designing firearms.
When we had him on the last time, he was talking about how he's got this backlog of there's never ending, new ideas in firearms that he's got ready to go at any given minute.
Yeah, the challenge is going from his brain into actual products in customers' hands. That's you can always go and make one gun, make a prototype, but taking that into mass manufacturing, that's a challenge, and that's primarily what my responsibility is, to take those ideas and bring them into mass manufacturing. And there's challenges with that, and certainly techniques. I do a lot of reading. Obviously, 5 years in this industry is not a lot to be in a position like here, but I leverage a lot of my time in the military where you just have to figure it out. You get into a situation, there's no answers, go figure it out. That's your talent, is to learn as quickly as you can. Learn by drinking out of a fire hose.
In whole, the firearms industry, and if you go to most of the manufacturers and the companies, which I've been to several, there is a military feel to them, so, with your background, bringing that to KELTEC and then catching them up, kind of to where the modern day is and the other firearm companies, how they operate and run things. So, tremendous asset bringing your knowledge from the military to here. I mean, I think it's a direct correlation. For this industry.
Yeah, absolutely. That on an internal note, absolutely. This place, if you came here, 20 years ago, it looks completely different than it does now, as far as everything, pretty much. But definitely the products as well. So for anyone that's been a KELTEC fan for a long time, we love you. We appreciate you, all you lead heads out there. But
this guy, sub 2000.
But those people, I see it online all the time. They testify to that fact just by the products that we put out. So we've come a long, long way from the P11.
And
so.
And I want to talk about products because we got. Can we talk about this, Adrian? I'm not going to say what it is yet because you hadn't said if I could talk about it yet.
Well, this. I mean, we could talk about it. A little bit.
Well, we'll talk about it in a minute, but I just want to make sure before I lead into it. Are you the eldest of the siblings?
Yep. I'm the oldest.
Okay.
1983.
So you're the big brother.
Yep.
Gotcha. So, growing up with George, because he's just fascinating. I would love to just spend a week with George and going through his processes and how he does things. And I'm sure he's designed and made things outside of firearms because he seems just like he's an inventor and he would want to improve just things around the household. And
he being an inventor, he doesn't buy anything from Home Depot. He goes to his machine shop and he makes it and he installs it. One of the funniest things I've seen him do is like a mounting bracket for the TV. He's like, man, I'm not going to pay $30 for this. I'm going to make it for $3 because I can.
Right.
And stuff. He's had a generator for 35 years, and if it goes bad, he'll take it in and he'll repair it. And that he could replace it for $150, brand new. But nope, he's going to take it in. He's going to replace the parts that are broken, and he's going to put it right back.
He's like, I can fix this.
Yeah, he can fix it. He can fix anything. He'll routinely bring things in to fabricate like a pot holder for his house, and just he knows how it can be produced. He can make it. And he just even if it's something that's $15, he knows it costs $1. Like he's going to do it himself. It's just the way his mind works, and he can see these solutions in every household items and in addition to the firearms industry and even the processes here, we have many manufacturing processes that he has invented that dramatically reduces the cost of general machine items like riflers that he's invented. That, man, I know they're selling $120,000 rifling machines out there. He can sell it for a massive profit, $6,000. And there's been people coming here going like, holy smokes, can I buy one of those things? Like, no, we just have it in there because we wanted to rifle something ourselves. And he just slapped it together and made one. So there's a lot of potential opportunities in kind of that field for him. But his passion, what he enjoys the most doing is firearms design. That's what gets him going. It's his like art that he does, and he's since he's done this his whole life, you know, he'll tell you he's never really worked a day in his life. He's just doing something that he loves. A hobby that makes money, which is the secret to life. If you can find yourself a situation where you're just doing something passively makes you money, that is the secret. And he found himself doing that. And so 80 years old right now. They're asking if you're going to retire. He's like, what am I retiring from? I'm not working.
Never been to work.
Never been to work. About? He's coming to do it. He's going to basically his garage, which is a large garage, but he's doing the things he loves to do. Now, the heavy lift of the business and expansion and dealing with everything, that's more of my role and my brother's role now. So he's now completely free to explore design development and get prototypes on there too, when I take them and I can go bring them into mass manufacturing. So I feel the whole process improved significantly, and you'll see this here in the next years to come as we do new product releases. You'll probably see the iterations of rate increase.
So I have a question. I need to confirm something. I heard that your mom has to drag him on vacation, kicking and screaming. Is that true?
Yeah, she's the planner of vacations, and she'll just book it and say, hey, and he doesn't want to waste any money. So he's like, hey, we're going on vacation here. I got 2 tickets. Let's go. And he says, okay, I'll go on vacation there.
I think more of it, he just doesn't want to waste time away from here. He's here every day, by the way.
Every day.
He comes every day, same time everybody else does.
What's a vacation to him?
Lately, he likes to do kind of these tours, like Viking cruises or going out to sea. That's kind of curated. You just buy the package and then you go out there and do stuff. He likes to tour a lot. Where is he going? So I think he's going to tour like North Africa. He just something that's just pre-curated. Like he doesn't go explore on his own.
Right.
And these companies are out there saying, hey, you know, this is the price and this is your itinerary, and we'll just walk you through these things. That's what he likes to do.
So pre-planned, already laid out.
Yeah.
He's not a fly by the seat of your pants
kind
of guy.
He likes it nice and pre-planned.
Structured.
And generally, most of the people doing that are his age. There's not a lot of young people doing it like that because it's easy. You get a little magazine and you read, you know, oh, this is a river cruise going through this thing. That seems cool. Let's book it. So that's how he does it.
Yeah.
Awesome.
What's one of the craziest, and not here but at home? I know you talked about like a TV mount. Just growing up that you saw him make
firearms.
No, outside of firearms. Just I was like, "What are you doing, Dad? What is this?"
I've seen him on in a pond outside our house on his belly in an inflatable raft, building a floating system to make a fountain. He was just sitting there, and there's like snakes in there, and
that visual
it's halfway deflated, and it's taking on water, and he's sitting there making this floating system so that the fountain could go, and it looks nice because, you know, he knows how to do it, and he's not going to get a guy to come in there and charge him like 300% of that work, so he's going to just do it himself.
He's making a tool so he can use his tools to make something else.
Yep,
that's actually exactly how our manufacturing works. Like we don't make, obviously, anybody that knows KELTEC, we don't make, you know, the stuff you can buy anywhere else. So we have to manufacture fixtures. We have to manufacture tools,
custom tools, everything.
Yeah, it's wild, man.
Fixtures, tools, everything is custom. There's no source for that, so you invent it and you go. The benefit of machine shop is that you have infinite possibilities for your tooling system. So it just comes down to the talent of the application. But yeah, George is also he's in, like the entire gate opening system. He's made that. Didn't go to a company for that. It's wild. Yeah. If he can make it himself, he will, and he does, and he enjoys it.
Yeah.
I can imagine that some of this creativity has gone through the genes. Between the three of you, there's 3 of you, right? You and Derek and your sister. You got a sister too.
Yep.
She's not in with KELTEC as far as I know, right?
No, her husband is
Parker.
Parker, yep.
Parker, I think Parker's been on the show, hasn't he? Has he been on the show?
I don't know. I don't think so.
Oh, okay.
He's out of Birmingham right now.
Yeah.
He's our director of business development now. So he previous automotive guy, and now he's being a direct liaison with all our distributing partners out there. And during this time right now, KELTEC is incredibly fast response. He talks to these guys probably twice a day, every day, giving them updates and providing information on new product development, getting them NDA'd for whatever it is they're going to hold before we go and release it, all that stuff.
Yeah. So between you and Derek, who's the more creative? Who's the left brain?
So my background is aerospace engineering. So it's very, very methodical, very mathematical. Derek did his degrees in business. I would probably say that Derek is probably more creative. He's the one of us that actually can play an instrument. Mm-hmm. I'm more mathematical and very logistical and very process oriented.
That's the way I am.
And
I got my degree in aerospace also.
Now here's the thing. This is the secret sauce. So my brother and I, with our two talents, if you merge us together, that's the recipe for having ingenious design. So I try to tell folks, with George, you can be an engineer or you can be a really good piano player, but you can't replace Mozart. Now he plays the piano too, but he creates ingenious things. And so for George, he has the artistic side in him, which is evident in his gun designs, but he also has the engineering background. When the melding of those two things, which is a unique thing, there's not many people, like 0.00001% of human beings have ever done something like that. That's where you get the true talent. Right. And so I feel...
to have the idea and the creativity, but then also the ability to make it real.
Yes, to actually perceive in mechanical 3 dimensions. That's how he kind of puts it. It's like, well...
it's like Da Vinci.
Exactly.
So what he's saying is it takes 2 guys to be George.
Pretty much.
To be one George.
Yeah. And that's hard to replace. I mean, he's one of a kind guy. Mm-hmm. And most of our engineering staff, what we do is we take a fundamental new class of mechanical system that he has invented, and then we either scale it or we develop a new product based off of that. And that's what you're seeing a lot of our competitors do even today. They're taking a fundamental invention that George has done, and then they kind of improve a process, tweak it, or scale it to a different caliber, but the DNA is from him. Yeah. And he's going to have a touch on the industry for generations to come.
No, he's already a living legend, and he's going to go down in history as the Kalashnikovs and the Brownings, and he's going to be in that class, no doubt. He already is.
Yeah. I hear that all the time.
Introducing our new belly band holster. Whether you're hitting the gym or running a quick errand, our belly band is one of the most comfortable and safest ways to carry your firearm. The center section allows you to carry most common pistols. Left or right-handed, this has you covered. A hard laminate trigger shield protects the firearm's trigger from unwanted intrusion, giving you ease of mind while carrying every day. 2 elastic sleeves give you the flexibility to carry other everyday items, such as spare mags, flashlight, knife, or pepper spray. 2 zippered pockets run on both sides, offering the option to carry smaller items such as money, cards, or keys. Flush fit on your lower back or waist, easily keeping your setup discreet no matter how you choose to carry. Utilizing 3D spacer mesh, these channels allow for exceptional and efficient airflow, giving you maximum comfort and keeping you cool. Carry whenever you want, how you want, with our new belly band holster. Available now.
Go to missionfirsttactical.com. Use the code LEADHEAD for an exclusive listener-only 20% discount.
Yeah. So, Adrian, this is our 500th episode.
Awesome. Congrats.
10 years of educating the uneducated here on Talking Lead Podcast. And we like to reward our listeners. So we've got this thing that we're putting together with KELTEC and a few other companies here. And we're calling it the Talking Lead and Friends Freedom Giveaway, Chad.
Because it's free. Everything's free.
Everything's free. And it's all going to one person.
Yeah.
So let's break it down. Let's break down the giveaway. It's going to start. So as you're listening to this, it's a little soon. It hadn't started yet. It's going to start September, and it's going to run the entire month of September. We might want to get Matt over here for this, so he can correct me when I say something wrong. Come on over. You got a spot right here. Got a spot and a mic for you, buddy. But this kind of all started at NRA when we were trying to come up with a giveaway for NRA, and it started just getting too big for NRA.
Yeah, so don't go out to dinner with all your friends and have a few too many beers and try to decide to do a giveaway.
Yeah, an adult beverage.
Because this is what it turns into. Like, let's give them everything we can think of.
And then the table next to you also is listening to your conversation. You're like, oh, I want to take part in that too.
Exactly. Yeah.
So we have obviously KELTEC, the big giveaways. Should we start small and then go big, or should we just start big and then?
However you want to do it. It's your show.
So for our video audience, you can kind of see some of the prizes that are going to be in this. Chad's got an armrest over there full of them. We've got a couch full of them over here. But you've heard me talk about it. So it's going to be a 3-gun giveaway. And it's going to be 3 of KELTEC's finest firearms.
Yep. You'll get an RDB Defender. There you go.
RDB Defender. Talk about the Defender, the RDB Defender.
Yep, RDB Defender takes standard AR-15 magazines. It's got a 16-inch, I would call it a medium profile barrel. Imlock handguard. It comes with that A2 flash hider, which everyone takes off and puts something else on there. So
right.
We'll leave that up to you. It's
got a top rail.
Yeah, it's got the top rail on it. Yep.
Ambi.
We can show you. I'm gonna probably see in the videos how I've got mine set up. It looks very, very, very cool, guy.
But that's the thing. It gives you the ability to customize it and put all the bells and whistles that you prefer.
Absolutely. It's 26.1 inch overall length. It's extremely lightweight, very low recoiling. It's got an adjustable gas system, so you can tailor it for your specific ammo or suppressor or both. And it's a phenomenal little shooter, and we had a really good time with it at the range the other day. Everybody that I handed it to was like, Sydney, the only girl that was out there, poor girl. I gave it to her, and she was terrified of the recoil.
She was like, "Oh,
she pulled the trigger, and she turned around, had a giant grin on her face. She's like, and then she wanted to do dump the whole mag. So, they're super fun to shoot, but it's completely ambidextrous as well. It's it's got a bottom ejection, so for lefties, it's perfect for you, and you can take that charging handle out and switch it to the other side very quickly.
Yeah. I think we've demonstrated that on a couple of videos.
Yeah. But super, super fun. 223-556. Chamber for 556. So
very good.
And then next up we've got the KS7.
Adrian, model that up, Vanna.
There you go. The KS7.
That's
12 gauge.
Yeah, it's our single tube, essentially our single tube KSG. For anybody familiar with the KSG, it's a pump action shotgun. Single tube with 2 3/4 shells. It holds 7+1. You get 6+1 with 3-inch. I don't know anybody that's man enough to really run a whole bunch of 3-inch shells, but you can if you want to.
You can do it.
It's got Imlock there on the sides and up on the carry handle for a flashlight. So if you want to use this for home defense, it's a great weapon for that. Also fully ambi. The shells, just like the KSG, they load and eject out of the bottom. And all the rest of the
carry handle is removable.
The carry handle is removable. You can set it up just like a KSG comes from the factory, so you can put the actual KSG rail on there. So you can put a red dot or whatever variation of sights you want.
Can you put different chokes on this?
Yeah, we have a choke adapter.
Okay.
I believe the same choke adapter for the KSG fits on the KS7 as well.
Nice.
It didn't when we first prototyped it, but Ryan, our engineer, did something to make sure that could go on there. So yeah, you can choke it.
He did his engineering thing. Made it happen.
Yeah.
Very good. And then also, this is a 3-gun. So we got our rifle, we got our shotgun, now we got our pistol.
Yeah, so we were giving away our brand new pistols. It's called the P15. It's our first striker fire pistol. This thing is specifically built for concealed carry. As you can see, it's really small. It is the smallest and lightest double stack 9mm pistol on the market.
Ah, okay.
Just came
I did
out.
not know that.
There's 2 versions of it. We got the polymer version. I'm referring to the polymer version.
The polymer is the one that's in the giveaway.
That's in the giveaway. Yeah,
Yep.
we do have a metal version of the gun as well. The specs on that it might be a stretch to say it's the smallest and lightest. But it might be the smallest and lightest double stack metal gun. I'm not sure, but
Okay.
they're very, very small, but extremely soft shooting for how light and small it is.
It's the smallest and lightest metal gun that KELTEC makes.
It is. It's the old, yeah. But it has the front side is amazing. It's tritium and fiber optic.
Both. Okay.
Yep. And so it's a night sight and a fiber optic sight, and the rear sights are fiber optic only. As you can see, it's got nice cocking serrations all the way across the top of the slide.
Yeah.
The grip is very aggressive. Great for maintaining the gun, getting a good purchase on the gun. The grip's really small. It's comes with 2 magazines. One is 12, so you get 12 plus 1 with a flush fit mag, and then the magazine that you see here is a 15-round mag that's got a pinky extension on it.
Thank you.
And great trigger. The striker's really, really nice and responsive.
I got to shoot it for the first time when we were doing our videos
Yeah.
promoting this. So if you're listening to this and you haven't seen the promotional videos, they're coming. Matt's working on them. He's doing an excellent job.
It's a 4-inch barrel for anybody that's how long is it? It's got a 4-inch barrel. It does come with the accessory rail on the bottom as well. So
Right, I was going to point that out too.
Yep,
So
flashlight, laser combo, whatever. Yeah.
and then I think you're working on this part.
Yeah.
I
So
don't want to say again.
let's
What
put
do I
Adrian
say?
on the spot. No, that would be one of our engineers, Joe Easter. He's one of our 3-gun guys. That's his department. He's
So I'm talking about a optic.
yes,
Yep.
optic ready.
So we have plates in development that we're going to basically release on the web store that just drops right in there. And so Joe Easter, who's our 3-gun guy, is designing these currently right now. We're focused first on the metal edition to make sure that there's compatibility with latest optics on that one, and then we're going to be releasing the P15 plates where you guys can just put on the optic of your choice on there.
Very
Yeah.
cool.
And of course, comments on which ones are the most popular to start with first, because not all optics are made the same, nor are there patterning that attaches to them. So,
yeah, it's different sizes and
so there'll be a number of ones will go there, but
And then it's going to come, the pistol, the P15. Our good friends at Mission First Tactical designed a custom holster just for the winner's P15. And it's got kind of a America, freedom
yeah.
theme to it. And it's got the new Talking Lead logo, which this is also in celebration of our new logo is why we're doing this giveaway too. So 10 years, 500 episodes, and our new logo, which Adrian has on the hat that you
Nice.
can see
Yep.
there. I was going to
good.
wear mine, but I couldn't find it. I
Maybe-
packed all my stuff up.
Maybe you
from
can
the
get
hotel.
Adrian to wear it while he's flying and take a picture of himself. I try to do that all the time.
Yeah.
Like, Adrian, take this up in the cockpit. Take that in the cockpit.
I should.
Also for Mission First Tactical, they're going to have some of their drinkware. I don't know that this one specifically that I'm holding up for the camera is going to be. This is my personal M18 smoke container here, drinkware.
That's actually pretty cool.
But there's going to be a couple of different drinkware for Mission First Tactical. Chad's got the bag, so Mission First Tactical has a new line of bags called the Acro, and it's the perfect gray man bag. So they've got a larger, I think that's like a 30 liter? What is that?
This looks like a 3-day pack.
It's on the tag there that you've got.
Okay.
So you got a large, you got a
Okay.
medium, basically, and then you've got a sling.
The sling bag. I
The
love
sling bag, everyday carry kind of bag,
I got to get one of these. This is really cool.
which I've been rocking mine
Whoops.
for a couple of weeks now. Perfect. And every one of these has a place for your concealed carry, and they come with the multi-mount platform that Mission First just came out with. Each bag comes with that, so you can mount your firearm
What colors?
strategically.
So far, black.
This is the color so far, yeah.
Okay.
So
Awesome.
far, it's like a grayish black, charcoalish black.
Yeah, I like
would
it.
say, just very gray man. So discreet, doesn't stick out, doesn't scream. I'm a tactical kind of guy, but it does have MOLLE on the front and on the straps, so you can add additional things if you so choose.
It almost looks like a back-to-school backpack.
Back to school.
Yeah.
I was thinking it looked like one of those backpacks that people will trek across Europe with.
It does, yeah.
Kind of deal.
Yep. Yeah, definitely.
It'll look good in Eastern Europe too.
Yeah.
Just in case you want to head that way.
There you go. There you go. And it's got side pockets for your drinks, whatever. There's all kinds of administrative pockets and zippers on these bags. So
yeah,
plenty of room.
we would show them to you, but it's going to take too long.
We'll just go to Mission First Tactical's YouTube channel, and they've got each one of them showing you all the cool features on it.
There you go.
Also from Mission First Tactical, there was something else that they were giving away, Matt. What else is included with? So we got the drinkware, we got the bags, we got the holster, magazines. Yeah. Magazines for your Defender. Yeah, you're going to get a nice supply of magazines that's going to come with that.
So let's go. We should stick with the guns for a minute, because you're getting magazines with the guns. You're also getting optics, and you're also getting
that's
lights.
Coming. That's right.
Yeah. So optics are actually, we'll go with the light.
We'll go with the light. Yeah. So you're going to get some weapon lights from Inforce, our good friends at Inforce. You're going to get a weapon light for the KS7 and the RDB.
Nice.
And
so 2 lights
the
from
WML and the WMLX, the white lights. So, and you've got plenty of rail spacing on both of those firearms to place those. Yep. And then Chad was mentioning optics.
Yep. Vortex optics is they threw in a Spitfire at my recommendation for the KSG. You can put it on either gun, but this has an etched reticle in it, and most people that have a shotgun, they use it for home defense. And in the middle of the night, things go bump. The last thing you're going to have to worry about is turning on a dot or light. So that etched reticle comes in very handy. So you'll have your Inforce light on there. You light up the target. You look through the reticle, and you're good to go without having to fidget around. And they're also setting up the RDB with this Strike Eagle 1:8 variable optic, and
those are nice.
Yeah, we also have a mount for that. Warren Mounts makes these amazing mounts for these, and
love me some Warren Mounts.
Yeah, and so they actually they're branded by Vortex. So Warren makes mounts for Vortex optics, and we will have this a mount for this for the RDB as well.
Wait, so one guy's going to win all of this?
One person is winning, and we're not done. Wait, there's more.
What?
But wait, there's more.
But wait, there's more. Oh my God. So to my right, and this is kind of what
Adrian's getting comfortable. It's like, I'll be here for a minute.
There's the other weapon light, the 2 weapon lights. But really, what kicked this idea off of like a 3-gun was, you guys know Kraken Cases, new sponsors of the Talking Lead podcast, is they released their rifle case not too long ago, and it was during, I guess, NRA.
Yeah, and we were like, let's fill it.
Yeah, and this is what we were talking about doing at NRA. We're like, let's get the rifle case, and then it just turned out to be, again, an administrative nightmare to get that all done before NRA. So we're like, let's just do something after. And the whole idea was like, this case is ginormous. It's huge. And it's got their patented foam in there, and it's 2 layers, and we're like, let's just fill this up with everything that we can.
Yeah.
And that's kind of how the idea came for this giveaway.
Yep.
And we've overstuffed it because obviously those bags aren't going to fit in there.
All 3 guns, so the listeners know, all 3 guns with the optics and accessories will all fit in there nicely.
Yes.
Yep.
And most of the stuff that we're going to be talking about here too. So the Kraken case is also, this is their Sigma case. Kraken.
It's Kraken.
It's Kraken.
What's Kraken?
Is going to be included. So you're going to get the case to put everything in. So Kraken cases.
I need to do some more marketing for them.
It's coming.
Yeah, they're a new company, so I mean, they're
brand new. Yeah, they're brand new. You probably only heard them about them on the Talking Lead podcast. That's
I want a T-shirt that says "What's Kraken."
What's Kraken?
Yeah.
Ben would love that. Tell him he'll make that. But they also have a pistol case, so they've got some smaller ones. They've got an eyeglass case, and this actually comes with an even smaller Kraken case on the inside, so you can put whatever you want to put in there, Ear Pro, whatever it may be, the smaller Ear
The
Pro.
foam is the coolest part. Tell me about the foam, like when you.
Yeah, so it's the memory foam, and I can't open this up right now for our video audience, but you've seen me do it on the show before. It is, it takes the shape of whatever you put in, so you don't have to laser cut. You know how you custom laser cut your guns? You don't have to worry about that. You just put your stuff in there, and it's going to be nice and secure and snug. You could put eggs.
Yeah,
Put a carton of eggs in here
Yeah.
and drop this off, a 20-foot building, and the eggs are going to...
Yeah, last time I was on the podcast, you actually put an egg in the pistol case and close it. And
The
I'm
eyeglass
like,
case. Yeah, I did the eyeglass case.
Oh, yeah. I'm like,
Yeah.
oh, this thing's crushed. And you
Yeah.
open it up, yeah. It was,
just...
and then you cracked it for us.
Yeah.
I'm like, that's a fake egg.
Heat resistant. I can't remember the degrees, but you could put, a hot... After you just shoot, you could throw it in there, and you don't have to worry about it melting.
Oh, nice. Yeah, hot barrels.
And cut resistant. So you guys have seen me take my buck knife to it and slash it and try to cut it, and it didn't.
So the point is it's an extremely durable case, and it's definitely stout, and the locking mechanisms are very stout on it, but also easy to open. It's a pretty.
I mean, you're going to look
cool
at it and you're going to
system.
say, that's your typical, Pelican case, but it's the foam is what makes these. It sets them apart from everything else.
And the locking latches too. There's definitely design things in there. It just looks like a normal case, but there's definitely.
And
some
again,
stuff
it's a
you'll
new
notice.
company, and they're improving as they go. They're listening to the customer feedback. They've already made two new improvements since they first released this.
Oh wow! So I have an old one.
This one is, but the winner's going to get
the new one.
Going to get the new one. Yeah,
Nice.
And there's actually some custom. He did some laser because he can custom put designs and stuff on his stuff.
Nice.
So the new TL logo's in there, and I think the Freedom. Something.
Yeah, he did some lasering for us. It was really cool. The KELTEC logo, flag logo.
Yeah. So wait, there's more. But wait. So our good friends at Seal One, you got the guns. You're going to need to clean your guns. So you've heard us talk about their new universal rifle cleaning rod kit. You're going to get that. Plus, you're going to get their CLP cleaning solution kit, too, from Seal One and Done. What else? Firearms. So we did the lights, we did the lasers, we did the holster. You did that. You need iPro if you're going to shoot, right, Chad?
Correct.
So Tactical RX, our good buddy Brett, Tactical RX, is putting you up with a nice, stylish pair of iPro and a case. I don't have it handy here, but... you're going to get that. And then Ear Pro, you need Ear. We're talking about Ear Pro. It was laying around here somewhere. Oh, it's way back here.
I got it.
This TAC RX glasses, mine are
There you go, yeah.
prescription.
So Adrian's got it. I've got it. So is it the ATAX electronic earbuds from Walker's Ear? So you're going to get a nice pair of electronic Ear Pro. And these will definitely fit in that case inside of the
easily.
Kraken
Yeah,
case.
you can put them in your pocket.
The egg case, we'll call it. But yeah, and you were using these out at the range the other day, and
Yeah.
you were digging them. Bluetooth, you can listen to music.
Yeah.
Sync them with your phone, listen to music, but they still have that noise cancellation for when you're shooting. So
Yeah.
Wow. You shoot anything up 223s with it, and
Yeah.
just completely sound dampening.
Yeah.
oh yeah,
That's pretty cool.
12
Like,
gauge.
These are a lot of what's interesting. So I've only been doing this 5 years now in the firearms industry. Obviously, grew up in it. Most of my entire exposure to this stuff has been design development and manufacturing. Very little time do I get to see accessories and product support for within the industry. And this is super cool stuff. I mean, I'm just discovering this stuff now because I just generally throw on foamies or regular hearing
These are
protection.
great.
Yeah, over the
Yeah.
ear.
Yeah,
kinda
over
deal.
the ears thing. There's some crazy technologies out here that this is bringing me up to speed with a lot of cool stuff, especially that thing. That's pretty cool.
Oh yeah.
I just
Have
put
you seen the foam in these yet?
Nope.
All right, we'll show it to you here in just a
There
minute.
you go.
Also with a firearm, what else do you need with a firearm? You need
Ammo.
You
Gotta
need
have
ammo, baby. You need some ammo. So our good buddy Pete Pye at Defiant Munitions is going to give the winner some 9mm for your P15 and some
5.56.
5.56 223 for the RDB.
Yeah.
Yeah,
He doesn't make shotgun shells yet.
not yet. So
nothing for the KS7,
but you get to choose your own flavor on that. If you
There
want to
you
go
go.
with slugs or birdshot or whatever you.
yeah, we didn't want to beat you up, so get some low recoil.
And if it's legal in your state, Dragon's Breath.
Yeah, that's always fun.
We were going to do that here, but we couldn't. They're not legal in Florida,
Yeah.
which I was shocked about that. Dadgummit. But
It's
what
already-
else?
It's already hot enough here.
What else? There's more. Wait, there's more. There's even more. So you guys heard a few episodes back, we had Jared Johnson with STA Blades on the show, and I was telling him about this giveaway that we're having. He's like, hey, I want to take part in that.
Huh.
So one of Jared's custom blades
That's a nice knife.
is also going to be included
I
with
like
that.
that.
That's nice.
That's a super sweet knife. That's actually I didn't even look at that yesterday.
No, I mean it's really, really nice.
Wow, that's stout too.
And it has its own sheath, so it comes with a sheath as well. Full tang. I think he calls that the stabbers. I can't remember what he
Yeah.
calls that one.
That thing's really nice.
But go to their website, stablades.com. So a knife. What else is that? So we did the eye pro, we did the ear pro. Matt, once you get your guns loaded and you got the optics on them, you got your ear pro and eye pro on, you're going to want to shoot something, right?
Yep.
Right?
Something that goes.
Something
Boom.
that goes boom. So Adrian, if you would.
Yeah, I just discovered
He's
these
admiring
two.
the knife
Yeah.
over here.
Yeah, I just discovered these things.
Firebird Targets.
Yeah.
You guys have heard of Firebird Targets. They're non-binary, I guess you call them explosives. I don't know. But they blow things up.
They pop and they put out a little flash. They're really fun.
They're really fun.
Kind of just takes your range time, your plinking time, just to the next level.
Yeah, they're just little pucks, little disc that have. He's got adhesive on the back, so you can stick them to a target. You can cut open a watermelon, put them inside a watermelon, or if you want to blow up a watermelon. Very cool, and you can stack them. So if you want
watch
a
the video
bigger,
for that, yeah.
you want a bigger boom, stack 2 or 3 of them together. But again, they're dangerous. These are explosive, so
So you hit them, you
Use
shoot them
common
right there
sense.
in the middle.
shoot them in the middle, and it's not caliber or velocity specific. You could set those off with an arrow. You could shoot a
Wow.
bow and arrow and set those things off.
You shot them with slugs?
Yeah,
Wow.
slugs.
9mm.
The 9 set it off. The 223 set it off. Pellet guns will set them off.
Nice.
Wow. World's only ATF approved reactive target. That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Wow.
So Firebird Targets. So there you go. I think, Matt, is that everything? Is that everyone? Oh, and then of course, yes. This is in celebration of our new logo. So as you see, Adrian is wearing our new Talking Lead logoed hat, and we also have a shirt. So you're going to get from Dipstick Branding the hat and a shirt. So
Nice.
the winner will get your size, and we'll have your size sent to you. But
And we'll throw some KELTEC swag in there too.
there you go.
You can't go to the range with just the gun. You got to have a hat and a t-shirt.
You got to have some stuff to throw in your 3-day bag.
Absolutely.
So yeah, these bags could be range bags. They could be
Whoever wins
overnight
all
bags.
this stuff can literally just get everything set up, and they're done. They're good.
Yeah,
Like,
whoever
it would
wins
take-
this, I want to see a video. I want to see you do a video enjoying all these products.
It took me years to sort of figure out what I wanted to get all this stuff set up for the range. One person's just gonna get
yeah.
overnight. Here's your range.
Well,
Here you go.
and because we brought our personal experience into this, you're like Vortex optics are awesome.
Yeah.
I would put a Vortex on my RDB, and you do. That's what you run on your.
I don't have any other optics on any guns I have.
You're running the Vortex. Inforce lights. I love the Inforce lights, so I run those on my firearms. So I was like, we got to get Inforce involved in this. So this is all stuff that we've tested, tried, and it's true. Seal One, their products are awesome. They've been longtime sponsors of the show, and I don't let anybody sponsor the show that I haven't used their products and feel 100% that they're worth it. So.
Yeah, I need a case of those things. Just when I would take friends to the
Firebird?
range. Yeah.
Firebird Targets?
It's
Yeah.
fun, man.
There's so many different things you could do with those.
We shredded your old logo with that.
We
That was
did.
fun.
We did. So the banners and the pop-ups that I use at trade shows, because Black Tie also part of this
that's true.
giveaway. They're helping with us with the media and putting everything together. And of course, they designed my new logo. So if it weren't for them, you guys would still be looking at my 1990s logo. They brought me into the 22nd century, whatever we're at now.
Yeah, they did the same for us too. They're a great company.
Yeah,
They're a great
that's how I met them, was through you guys. We were at SHOT Show this year.
Yep.
And they happened to be there, and Chad introduced me, and he's like, hey, why don't you get these guys on the show? I was like, okay, well, what are we going to talk about? And we started talking, and I was hearing what they were doing and what they were doing for you guys, and I was like, hey, what would you do with my logo? Just for instance, critique my logo. And he's
like, you don't want me to
shredded me. He's like, no, you don't
want me to talk about that.
He shreds all the
He was
logos.
trying to be nice about it. He's like, nah.
Very professional, very nice about it.
Yeah. But then I was like, no, be honest. He's like, okay.
Yeah.
Left jaw, right jaw, uppercut.
Yeah, and that's
body shot.
That's one of those things we don't like change, right? You know, like we talked about earlier, and those guys they specialize in change, like that. They're
not just change, but change that is needed.
Yeah,
change.
Progressive change, absolutely. Yep.
Yeah. So black tie, digital marketing. Thanks for the new logo. Where was I going with that? I was going somewhere with that. I don't know.
Yeah, so 10 years of talking. No.
There you go. 10 years. But yeah, so I think that's everything. So one guy, one girl, one lucky lead head.
Yep.
Gets it all. And I know some of you are saying, why didn't you just split that up and share the love? Because we normally do that. But this just makes it even more skin, and it's the freedom giveaway. One person's just going to have the freedom to go to the range and be the baller at the range.
Absolutely.
So if I'm just perusing the interwebs and I come across this podcast, how do I get in on this?
Good question.
Like
That's
how
a
do I
great
apply
question.
to this?
So our good friends at Mission First Tactical.
You're not eligible though.
Yeah, no, I'm just kidding.
For someone that is.
We're going to do it like
I'm genuinely curious.
The Gleam giveaway. We're going to have links on our website. All the participant companies are going to push and promote it on their social medias. But once we get it set up, it's going to be one of those Gleams where you register, and then the more you go and like Mission First Tactical, like Defiant Munitions on Instagram, or go visit their website, you're going to get more entries, kind of deal. So that's how you're going to do it. More details we'll be putting out on social media, on the podcast once we get everything out there. But again, it's going to start September. So 1st of September through the entire month. And then we will announce the winner on the October's edition of Talking Lead Podcast.
Nice.
So listen. That's how we do it here. You listen, you participate, and you win on the Talking Lead Podcast.
Sounds easy.
All right? Yeah. It's so easy. And it costs them what, Chad?
Nothing.
But time.
Yeah.
But your time. A little effort to go and show love to all our sponsors, all our friends of the show. Was that Matt? Maybe an email address, But I mean,
that's... even if Adrian was eligible, he still can't do it because he doesn't have time.
No, he doesn't have time.
This is the most free time he'll have for the rest of the year.
I'm enjoying sitting right now.
This is like an $80,000 podcast of Adrian's time.
It is
right now. So this is the most expensive podcast I've ever done, ladies and gentlemen, in my 10 years.
Facts.
No doubt. Hey there, Leadhead Brigade. Lefty here with some important news for you. Forecasters from the University of Arizona warn that 2023 will be a very active hurricane season, and they're asking people to get prepared. They're expecting the number of major hurricanes this year to be similar to 2017, which saw the extremely intense and damaging hurricanes that we all heard about, Harvey, Irma, and that nasty old Maria. How bad can it get? Well, when Hurricane Ida hit the Gulf Coast, it destroyed countless homes and left many without access to food, clean water. Millions lost power. Most didn't have power for weeks. The floods that followed the hurricane washed out the roads, made it impossible for grocery stores to restock their shelves. Families were left hungry and desperate, waiting for help that was slow to arrive. But what if you didn't have to be reliant on the government, FEMA, your neighbor, grocery stores during these crises? The answer is simple. Be prepared with emergency food kits from 4 Patriots. Their long-lasting, delicious food options are specifically designed to provide you and your loved ones with the sustenance you need when you need it the most. 4 Patriots survival food kits are hand-packed in the USA. They last 25 years. They come packed inside covert storage totes. They include a wide variety of delicious breakfasts, lunches, dinners. They've even got some snacks that are tasty. And they're backed by thousands of 5-star customer reviews. Just go check out their website, 4patriots.com, and read them for yourself. 4 Patriots Survival Food is not just for natural disasters, because in today's world of uncertain supply chains and unpredictable emergencies, it's more important than ever to have a backup plan. Whether it's a temporary power outage, a winter blizzard, or rising food costs, which we're all feeling that these days, right? You can rest easy knowing that you have a reliable source of food to see you through it. And right now, you can go to 4patriots.com and use this exclusive code, LEADHEAD, all caps, LEADHEAD, one word, to get 10% off your first purchase on anything in the store, not just their food kits. So go check them out, 4patriots.com. Use the code LEADHEAD to get 10% off your first purchase of 4 Patriots Survival Food. That's 4patriots.com, guys. Use the code LEADHEAD and get that 10% off. But Adrian, I know that you are busy, and I really appreciate you taking the time to be on. Would you happen to have time for the new guy questions?
New guy, and sometimes a girl. Questions.
Yeah.
Okay.
Nice.
Because
Yeah.
you are
New guy
a new guy. This is your first time on the podcast. I have this
Literally, I have no clue what you're going to ask me.
Yep.
None.
This is perfect.
And I don't have a team of people around me to give me head nods around. It's like,
This is the crazy thing. Your dad has already been on the podcast and answered these questions.
Awesome.
That's wild.
I only hit him with a couple though. I didn't hit him with the full because we were at
My
the show.
favorite one. I don't know if you heard this, Adrian. He asked him like, "What if you could have anything?
Yeah.
No laws, money. Money be damned. Whatever. What would you want?" And your dad answered. He said,
Laws be damned, money be damned.
He said a boat.
A boat.
really? He said he's.
I was like, George, you could buy a boat company. Like, what do you mean a boat?
Well, that's so the reason for that. So he needs a boat and a crew because we had a boat growing up, and it was my brother, my mom, my sister. They didn't like to be on the water. It was they dreaded going out there, but I loved it, and my dad loved it, and so I was his deck mate, and I would handle the lines and move everything around, and got to where I could maneuver it, and as soon as I left for college, then of course the primary assistance in it kind of went away, and then the boat ended up getting sold. So he needs a boat and a crew for that.
Okay.
Well, I think he was probably just assuming that you guys would be his crew. So.
I'd be happy to. I'm
sure.
a great deckhand.
Yeah.
Whoever
He's
has
like,
a boat.
crank
I'll
out
go out there.
the grandchildren, and I'll get a bigger boat.
Yeah, there you go. Maybe that's
That's his incentive to getting grandchildren is to buy a boat. But that's one of the questions. So we'll come back to that for you. So the first one is, what is your earliest recollection of shooting a firearm?
Oh boy.
And what was it?
It was probably the Grendel SRT, and we were shooting it at a berm in the woods.
Grendel, how old were you?
5 maybe.
I
remember just laying down and aiming it at a big pile of sand, and then squeezing the trigger, and then big old bang. That was.
I think.
And then I got as a small kid, now I got like an aversion to those things. So then we scaled down to 22 LR. So it's like that's the biggest, and here's the smallest. And then that was nice. I was like, oh, that's not scary at all. I don't know. Maybe that method to his madness. I know introduction of firearms to kids across the spectrum varies, but we didn't. I don't think we started small. Earliest recollection, of course, is the big bang for me. It was like, wow, that was
just get the initial
outrageous.
shock out of the way,
yeah,
and then show you that it gets better.
Yeah, then I try this one here. It's no bang. I was like, this is awesome. This is great. No recoil, nothing. So it was kind of
made you appreciate that smaller one a little better.
Yes,
I feel like Matt came across pictures of that.
So the earliest I've held a firearm, and I don't have any recollection. I was teeny tiny. I was dressed up in like little kid baby. I think I may have been 1, and I just had like a M4 laying on my lap or something fun like that. So that's probably the earliest.
There's pictures of that.
There's pictures of that. Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
I love that. So obviously we talked about your military. You do have a military background. Give us a little more detail about your military background.
Sure. So I went to college in the Naval Academy in Annapolis. Graduated in 2007. So growing up, loved airplanes because we traveled to Sweden a lot. So very fascinated with aviation, and then having a boat, loved it, the boating and being on the sea. So I kind of combined the two. It wasn't really for me. I didn't really think about going into the family business off the get-go. I was really interested in military and military lifestyles, and that from my entire family on my Swedish side, they're all career military men, and was heavily exposed to that. In firearms design, George would often read books on, combat rifles, and had books in his libraries all about this stuff. So I'd read this stuff. And then he was also really big on aviation and had lots of books on airplanes. And that's kind of where I trended myself. And most people probably don't know this, but he originally wanted to be in an aviation style military service, but he didn't qualify. In Sweden, the vetting process was very intense. They may have like 8 jets, and maybe 1,000 people want to fly them.
They had 2 ships back then. Yeah.
Exactly. So
2 boats.
So the standard
ships.
for passing was very high. In America, obviously we have our entire military force, which is completely different than what the Swedes have. So there was more of a shot for me. So I kind of like obsessed over that and wanted to fly, learn how to fly real early. I actually flew airplanes before I drove a car. And that's been my singular focus, was to be in the armed services, particularly the Navy, and to go naval aviation. And was fortunate enough to get to the process to where I could do it, and then started flight training in Pensacola. Then I went over to Whiting Field in Milton, which is just next to Pensacola. I got selected for tailhook, which basically means you're going to fly the F-18s or the E-2, anything that lands on an aircraft carrier. Mm-hmm. Went over to Meridian, Mississippi, and in that one there's another vetting process, and there they divided us up. There's 4 of us. 2 guys went to Hornets and 2 guys went to E2s, and that was me. I was with the E2 guys. And so it was kind of a bummer because I wanted to fly tactical fighters, but is what it is. You're kind of given the hand you're dealt with. And then went over to Corpus Christi, learn how to fly multi-engine turbo prop aircraft, and then over to Virginia Beach.
Like King Airs and things like that?
Yep, we did like a King Air there. So basically just to teach you how to handle asymmetric thrust, single engine emergencies, and understanding a large format aircraft. Went over to Virginia Beach, and we went to the FRS, which is the Fleet Replacement Squadron. Learned how to fly the E-2C, which there's about 8 on the line there. They're trainer aircraft, and you have yourself, the instructor, and then you have a crew in the back. And this airplane is an airborne command and control platform. So the way it works is that you fly into a battle space, you scan the area around it, and primarily for air defense measures, you can pick out the bad guys, and then you would then do tactical ATC to get the fighters to lock onto the targets and then shoot them down. So we basically are the quarterback of the battle space in the air. That role's transitioned a little bit for some ground management, and it's even improved more with the introduction of the D model, the Delta model. But then that thing is wild in terms of technology, and much of it is classified. But I will say that great time out there. We did, obviously we did OEF a bunch. We did counter piracy operations. So back in 2010-11, you guys read a lot in the news that Somali pirates had taken over ships, and that was kind of like the big thing in the news. Well, we shut that down. And that's the role of the U.S. Navy has been counter piracy for our entire history. For the most part, we did that with the Barbary pirates, and now we did that with Somali pirates. So we're used to how to handle piracy. So we were out there, provide anti-piracy operations. Piracy went away, and then we go back into operating OEF.
After all of your experience, do you look back and think, or do you regret not being a tactical fighter pilot? Or
so
can't regret that because you didn't have a choice, right?
Right, you didn't have a choice. However,
not regret it, but is that something that you feel like you're missing in your career?
Yeah.
So I have the benefit of hindsight. There was a point where I say yes, absolutely. I completely regret not doing that. However, out of the E2 world, I went over and picked up an instructor tour flying the T-45 Goshawk, which is a variation of the BAE Hawk that the Brits fly. So it's a small attack fighter plane, so single engine, 2 ejection seats, and basically I got to experience pretty much everything I wanted to do in an airplane. High G maneuvering, air to air, air to ground. I drop blue training bombs in the deserts down in El Centro.
So you did get to
we're doing like low level flying through the mountains, doing all that stuff. So there's a bit of that. And talking to my buddies who were in the tactical world. It's a very intensive discipline, and I didn't realize, most people don't, going into that, the level of dedication, of focus, and intensity you bring into mastering that art in the tactical realm. And it's a hell of a work. And I'll tell you, I don't necessarily think that level of tactical expertise is demanded of pilots within the E2 community. Certainly there are many that can embrace that and get into that world.
Right.
But you generally have the option of just, you taking off, put the aircraft in the right space, flying your mission profile, coming back and landing. And that's your expertise. You can get into the tactics side if you want to, but that was never something I wanted to do. But yeah, the T-45 was an awesome airplane, and after about 4 years of flying that, your kind of back hurts a little bit, your neck hurts because you're kind of looking back behind you and pulling G's out there. So
the Tweety birds.
Yeah. And then after that, I went over and flew the 737, which was basically
that's a big difference.
Big difference.
So cool. So
airplane.
you got to kind of do it all, really.
Yep. I'm
awesome.
very fortunate. I've flown multiple platforms, and now I'm just renting airplanes on the side to keep the skills fresh.
Nice.
So I civilian side, pilot.
Wait, one quick question I have to ask all pilots is: have you ever flown rubber dog shit out of Hong Kong?
I was going to do another one of those kind of references.
So the C-40 was a cargo airplane, and we were trying to joke to get like a box of rubber dog shit. And we did do a mission to Hong Kong. We landed there, and we're asking, hey, can we find some rubber dog shit? I want to at least say I've flown rubber dog shit out of Hong Kong.
That's awesome.
But yes, I've flown out of Hong Kong with people, but not rubber dog shit.
And when people call you a pilot, did you correct them and say naval aviator?
No, there's like microcultures within naval aviation. Where the pilots are happy to be called pilots, but there's NFO, naval flight officers, who do kind of stop and naval aviator, which they are. They're part of the naval aviation thing. But pilots, I've never heard of a guy correct somebody. I'm a pilot. I'll
just
fly
Tom
something.
Cruise in Top Gun, doesn't it?
Maybe.
Yeah.
He's taken a lot of liberties with the culture. Hollywood is a little bit different than real life.
Yeah. Great movie though. It's one of my all-time favorite movies. Love Top Gun. So to build my hours, I used to fly with the maintenance guys because they would do the maintenance and they'd have to take them up for maintenance flights and do that. So I worked at an FBO, and whenever they would take maintenance flights, I would buy them dinners, or whatever, just to get the hours. And we took this King Air up one time, and they were working on the props, the propellers, and I can't remember the altitude or anything, but one of the blades, the props came off, and it came up through the...
It's not good.
No, it wasn't good at all. So what's one of the most memorable pucker factor moments in your piloting career?
Good question.
So we were on a mission in Afghanistan, and we just got in country, and the day was really unremarkable, kind of hazy, tan hazy, which is unusual for the North Arabian. Generally you get that over land, but it was, as we were transiting over there to Afghanistan, it was a little bit of a hazy day. No big deal. We get in country, and then they immediately call us back, which that's kind of that's weird. That's unusual. All right, well, let's turn around and come back.
Right.
As we're going back, it got a little bit more hazy, a little bit more tan, a little bit more hazy, more tan, and then now we're feet wet. We know we're feet wet, but you can't see the ground anymore. It's just this tan haze everywhere below us. Well, you come to find out that there was a massive sandstorm over Saudi Arabia that blew into the North Arabian.
Ooh.
Massive sandstorm, and we're hundreds of miles off the coast, but it was a massive sandstorm at sea, which at this point right now they're calling everybody back to the aircraft carrier. Now all the fighters, F-18s we had on there, they can do an auto landing. The airplane, you can set it up and you can just hold on and it'll come in and land for you. Not the E-2. The E-2 is there's no fly-by-wire on this. It's direct hydraulics that go to the control systems. You're flying, both motors turn in the same direction. Right. So you add power, now you have to do a counter correction with the rudders. So we're 100% manual flying, and we're starting our descent to come and land. Now they're calling this a Case 3 recovery, which is just fancy word for saying no visual approach. It's going to be you're flying needles like an ILS, an instrument landing system, all the way down to touchdown. Again, no big deal. We do that at night all the time. So as we're coming down, we're doing our approach. We're 3/4 miles, and generally say 3/4 miles, call the ball. And you're supposed to see the Fresnel lens out there. There's no ball.
Roger ball.
Exactly. That's what the LSOs say.
You're like, negative ball.
No, they say 3/4 mile, call the ball, clear ship, which is like clarify where the ship is. I don't see anything. I can't see the ground. I can't see the sky. It's all just completely tan. And so the paddles come over there. The landing signals say continue. So you just keep flying your needles down there. And we continue and continue, don't see nothing. And then, they call wave off. Apparently we're over the ship, and then we just add power and fly away. Right. Nothing. Now, interestingly enough, this whole thing's on YouTube. You can actually look it up. Yep, the E2 sandstorm landing. That's the one I'm in. So so we go around, and now we went all the way to Afghanistan back. The other thing about this Model E2 can't aerial refuel. So we only got the gas that's in our airplane. So and there's no divert. We're at sea. We're not going to make it anywhere. So it's either make it on the carrier or we run out of gas and bail out over snake-infested waters, which I know they're snake-infested because we saw them.
You saw them flying over and seeing them.
Sea snakes in the water. So no big deal. We go around. We come around again, and we try it one more time. And we get a little bit closer. This time the ship breaks out, but we're not in a safe position to land. So we go around again. And
so 2 flybys.
And, of course, gas is continuing to go down.
Yeah.
At this point right now, we're both starting to sweat. There's 2 pilots in the airplane. We're both starting to sweat. Come around third time. This one here, we're in the best position to land, but they called a wave off anyway. And for Navy pilots, they hit this little pickle switch, and the lights turn red. And they generally tell you, nope, don't land. There's an unsafe condition, or you're not in a safe position to land. Everybody in here now, mostly fear factor going here is like, I'm almost going to run out of gas, and now they gave me the wave off light. And there was a split second where we thought, let's ignore it and keep landing.
Did you say, we've got no fuel for this, Mav?
No. No. So and everybody's now, it's not just us with a pucker factor. The entire ship is aware of our situation. We're the E2. We can't refuel. There's a crew of 5 aboard. There's no safe way to do a recovery.
But they can't let you land because you got the whole ship at risk if you do.
Correct. They saw something where they didn't think we were safe to land, so they wave us off. So we go up again for pass number 4, and I got enough gas for 2 more tries. And so what they're trying to do is they're trying to vector us around for a short approach, because they're like, all right, let's get them around and back into a landing profile as quickly as possible to maybe give them a few more attempts. At this point right now, they come over the radio and say, hey, you need to fly the needles, keep focusing on what they don't know is that our needles were starting to disconnect in close. They just go away, and then they come back. Oh. And then they go away and come back. They don't know those details out there, and it wouldn't help them to know, because then they just get more nervous, especially the admiral that's on board the ship, who's now thinking, crap, I should have just diverted them to Kandahar, which is what we're thinking, crap, why didn't they divert us to Kandahar?
At the time, it was
beautiful. We had plenty of gas, and it was a nice runway. We could have gone to Kandahar, but they didn't. They brought us back. All right, we're coming down the 4th pass, and I think they had a discussion amongst themselves thinking that was a dumb idea to wave them off. Let's just let them try and see what happens.
Put the nets up?
Well, we're not at the nets yet. I think maybe the next one they probably put the nets up, but for this one here, we came in, we started our approach. I asked for a longer hook so that we can have more time to kind of have the airplane stabilize, get our descent rates right, because basically with the ILS popping on and off, we just had to focus on, and I guess the steam gauges. There's nothing digital. This is a World War II cockpit. So you got your VSI on needle, and we're just trying to keep that at 600 feet per minute down and be as precise as possible on the glide slope. We got close, 3/4 mile, call the ball, clear ship, continue, and you have your landing light on. So generally what the LSOs will see is that as the aircraft is approaching you, there'll be like a bloom within the sand.
Right.
And then as it gets brighter, then you'll see the light, and then they'll tell you if you're high or low or add power or whatever.
That's just insane, a sandstorm at sea.
Yeah, I know. Couldn't believe it.
It's unreal.
So we're coming in, we're getting close, and now, I'm looking outside. The carrier appears low and right. So what you'll see in the video, because there's the plat cam that shows what you see, you'll see the airplane take a hard right, a hard left, and kind of land on the left landing gear, right landing gear, catch a wire, and stop. And you can briefly see, the paddles, everybody's jumping up and down, cheering, and like we're like sitting here, we feel the deceleration. We stopped, and all right, we're sitting there like shaking. And I took a moment to sit there. A commanding officer met us up there. They gave everybody a hug. Everybody was. I'm sure the pucker factor on these guys, because all their careers are flashing before their eyes. But for us, we're like, man, I don't want to go swimming with sea snakes in a sandstorm.
They had to clean out their shorts.
I'd rather crash on deck than swim with the snakes.
Yeah, so that was that. And we got outside. We looked at the airplane. The thing was just like mud caked on it. All the surfaces where there's weep holes for oil, it would just look like we just went through like a redneck thing in the mud. Like the whole thing was mud.
Mudding in an airplane?
Yeah, in the airplane. And you couldn't see the other end of the ship in the sandstorm. It was that intense. It was, wow. And it's like
this is on YouTube, you said?
Yeah, it's on YouTube.
Okay.
Yeah, you can look it up. E2 Sandstorm Landing.
Sandstorm
Landing.
I
think the guy that hosted is J Wow or Jay Weezy up there. I think that's his channel. But yeah, you'll see a few attempts made.
Okay,
that's awesome.
That is a pucker moment.
Yeah, all the comms are on there too. And the biggest thing you have to remember, you need to be cool on the radio. Can't sound panic. Can't sound
right.
That's the first thing to tell you. Last words of Bug Roach, who is a famous LSO. before he died, ejecting, he's like, all right, boys, I'm going to hit the silk. I'll see you guys in the bar. Nice and calm. He was having massive problems with the airplane, but you have to sound cool on the radio, no matter what's happening to you.
Yeah.
Wow.
So we're thinking about that when we're radioing.
I remember that when you watch some of the old NASA footage of the, like Buzz Aldrin and all those guys up there when they're having all those problems, and just how calm they were always sounding during that.
That's how they're bred from a young age. You try to stay as calm as possible.
Yeah. That's that's probably the best pucker factor story I've ever heard.
Well, there's other guys who are like, I'm being shot at by the Iraqis as missile trails flying left to right. Different pucker factors.
Different,
out there.
Everybody's
got a
pucker
story,
factor.
I'm sure.
Hey, Matt, was that battery okay? Yeah, 50. Okay. Wow. Okay. Going a lot longer. It said it had like an hour on it. We've been doing an hour.
It's cold in here. It slows down.
Is that what it is? Okay. It's down to 1 bar. Yeah. Let me change battery and then we'll.
Sweet.
That's a great story. I don't think I've ever heard that one.
So, anything else about your military career you wanna add? And thank you for your service.
Oh, no worries. Thank you. It was just a great time. I loved it. A lot of really good memories there. A lot of great adventures. Certainly this job that I have now, there's a lot of adventures in there too. It's kind of more stable than the military side, but I'm still in the reserves. I'm lieutenant commander. I drill still.
Okay.
Once a month, and just like, what is your primary job right now? Well, I'm waiting for World War III to happen, which
it's around the corner.
Yeah,
right?
I don't want to hear that, but yeah. So no, it's great. It's a great institution. I enjoy it very much.
Very good. So next question. I want to ask you more about the military, but we could be here all day doing that.
Yes, we can.
I'm sure you got some great stories. We'll talk off air on those. When it comes to pop culture, what is your go-to? What's your jam? Where you just, this is where I sit back and I relax and I'm enjoying the hell out of this. Where it be a movie, a TV show, a book, music, video game, whatever it may be.
Wow. So pop culture is kind of like a smorgasbord of everything. And it really depends what I'm in the mood for. So, lately I've been looking at a lot of stuff on YouTube regarding, natural stuff, folks that survive in the woods, those type of channels.
Okay. Survivalist kind of
stuff. The different techniques out there. So I kind of like that because there's a SEER school. Again, bring it back to the military. We go to SEER school, which they kind of give you a 2-week course on, hey, you get shot down in enemy territory. How do you survive? What do you do? How do you catch animals? How do you eat? And there's a lot of good survivalist stuff on there. Some bad stuff, but lots of good stuff. That's one thing. Lately, I've on the video game side, I've picked up Red Dead Redemption, and
that's the Western one, right?
Yeah, okay. And Red Dead Redemption 2, and I've been paying a lot of focus on the firearms in there. They have a really good modeling of the firearms. In fact, just the way they are used and operated, just trying to get my head around that. And the only reason, one, it's a good story, but two, there's a lot of attention to detail in that video game. And lately, video games have been a communication to other audiences, and our firearms have been in video games.
I know,
like Call of Duty with the KSG.
Yeah.
The P50 has been in a couple of video games.
KSG's been in John Wick too.
It has. So
the movies.
So just seeing how programmers are interpreting these weapon systems, because I have in my head a baseline ballistic knowledge and the mechanics of this of the functions of these firearms, but how they're portrayed in video games. I remember there was a time that we got a warranty call because the KSG in Call of Duty wasn't shooting fast enough. I was like, all right, man.
That's funny.
Yeah, someone called and complained. It's like,
hey,
your
man,
shotgun's not shooting fast enough in Call of Duty. It's like, well, you may have to talk to, whoever Activision on that. But yeah, so that's one side of it. The other thing I do, which is an odd hobby, is paramotoring. So in the mountains, you can have these like collapsible wings that inflate. They're ram air inflated systems, and you can use thermal air to keep you going. in Florida, everything's flat, so I strap on a motor to myself and off I go. And it's a really cool experience. It's like a flying motorcycle.
Okay.
You can go anywhere you want.
Is that where
to.
the motor's behind you and you're sitting
Yep.
like in a lawn chair? And
Yes.
kind of deal?
I'm 100% because these ass fans are, yes. they're about brand new. They're about as much as like a dirt bike, and they're awesome 2-stroke motors. But, you go out there, you go.
So you fly those?
I do. Yeah.
Oh, my gosh.
They're fun as hell. Great way to fly.
I mean,
Oh
a
my
fart would
gosh,
blow one of those
dude.
things over.
Yes.
A strong fart.
I'm sorry. I'm watching the E2 landing.
Oh, are you watching it?
How you guys landed it, I have no idea. You cannot. So there's a camera perspective. It just looks like you're looking at a white screen.
That's
Yeah.
it. Yeah.
And all of a sudden, the plane just appears out of nowhere on the deck. You're
Yeah.
like,
We should have, as they were listening to your story, we should say, hey, bring that video up and watch this video while
yeah.
he's telling the story.
I should have probably narrated.
So
it
rewind,
watching it.
guys. Rewind. Go watch this video and then listen to his story, and then that pucker factor is going to make sense.
dude, that's crazy.
to you.
Yeah.
No
Man.
doubt. But
Wow.
Red Dead Redemption,
Okay,
that's
sorry.
one that I've been thinking about getting into. I haven't yet. And
Yeah.
obviously, it's going to be the Western
Yep.
guns, wheel guns, and lever actions, and
what's really interesting about this game, that the programmers spent a tremendous amount of time researching the firearms that existed in the late 1800s, early 1900s. And when you go to a gun store, you actually pull out a gun catalog and you go through it like you would in the 1800s, and you look at the performance of these firearms, and it's a really good way to learn the historical aspect of this stuff. And I know there's probably, I'm thinking to myself, because I met a tremendous amount of people in my travels who are obsessed about older style handguns, revolvers, varmint rifles, 22 LR, 22
lever
mag,
actions. Yeah.
all those things. And I was like, man, this game would probably be something they'd be interested in seeing, but they'd have to go and get it. It's for the PlayStation 4 and 5, and there's also a computer
Xbox,
thing.
I'm
Exactly.
Sure. Yeah.
But I love the attention they put into the firearms and the
That's what a lot of
effects,
people don't appreciate about, I guess, video games, because they think this, again, childish and for kids. And
Right.
But there's a lot of education that they've started to put into
Yes.
these video games, historical,
Yes.
factual information.
Yep.
That goes along with these video games, like Assassin's Creed.
Mm-hmm.
There's a lot of great historical,
Yeah.
and they recreate the landscapes to exactly the way it was
Yeah.
back in the days. And like you said, the firearms in Modern Warfare, Call of Duty, the detail and the realism that they put in those firearms. I mean,
Yep.
you could learn a lot.
You
from
sure
that stuff.
can, and Red Dead 2 is a great example of it being done right. Really good. I don't know who was their advisor on this, but that guy was awesome with everything, because you have to maintain your firearms too. You can't just shoot them off and they're going to wear down. So you actually have your character get about and use gun oil, and you clean it. You actually see yourself clean it. You can actually look at it 3 dimensions, turn it around, kind of aim it, and kind of handle it like you would in a gun store. And it was, and you have like the whole world of gun knowledge back in the late 1800s. So you'll see Mausers in there, and you'll
cool.
like the early semi-autos that appear in there, and they have their little bars of how much firepower and range. Also, I don't know.
Sure.
That kind of is hokey, but but it's a really great thing. So
I
pop culture-wise.
did an episode a couple of years ago, and I had a video game developer on that does like the modern Call of Duty stuff, that designs the weapons for that. It was a very interesting episode, talking to him and how they gathered the data and input it into and to bring that realism out. But
I love that they care enough to do it in that detail. That shows a lot.
yeah.
Yeah.
Music. What's your jam?
Oh, let's see. Actually, like if I'm going anywhere, if I'm in Wyoming, I'm throwing on Marty Robbins.
Okay.
So the plant is in
Old
Rock
style
Springs.
country?
Yeah, old style country. Plant's in Rock Springs. I'll fly over to Salt Lake City and drive 2 hours through the Sister Valley over there, and it transitions from like the Alpine Mountains to the Old West style mountains, and Marty Robbins' Radio on Pandora is what I listen to for that. If I'm Florida side and I'm just cruising, I have the 80s going.
Okay.
I'll listen to 80s and some 90s. My kids are really into, and it's not bad. They're really into like this electronic stuff, like Alan Walker. Is an
sure
artist.
who that is.
Yeah, he does some very new stuff. That's not bad, but that's not usually my go-to. But
You gotta listen to it when the kids are around.
Yeah, I do. I have to listen to it when the kids are around. But the 80s, if I'm Florida side and if I'm in the mountains, is Marty Robbins. Or if I'm smoking meat, I'll throw on Marty Robbins. I feel like he sings the meat to a better taste.
How did you get hooked on Marty Robbins? That's just a out there kind of thing.
It's a really big out there. I think I was somewhere and there was an old song playing, and I was like, "Who sings this? This sounds." It just happened to be at the right place, right time. It just the mood was right. And there's Marty Robbins, and I was like, "Oh, interesting." So
that's the funny thing about music is it just depends on
because
right place, right time, what mood you're in, and it hits you a certain way.
Exactly. And I like to put cultural nuances to the places I'm in. So Florida, just to me, seems like 1980s music. Like out west, Miami Vice, out west, Vice City game. They have all that music. I just feel like that's the theme song to Florida. When I'm out west, it's Marty Robbins. But yeah, it was. I was at this one place. I overheard it, so I was like, "Yeah, this is Marty Robbins." So I just Marty Robbins Pandora go. So I listened to that. Another thing, I don't know, very circumstantial. Like I'll put on like sea shanties while I'm like on a boat, like
yacht rock.
Yeah, it's yacht rock, and I didn't realize that was the thing. But my
yacht
cousin
rock
from
is my jam.
Yeah, so my cousin from Sweden came in, and I just had like Old Maui playing, which is like a sea shanty out there. He's like, "Oh, I know this. I work out to this." I'm like, "You do?" Like, yeah, everybody. They're all listening to these sea shanties now. Like there's another one, the Wellerman. That song's going pretty popular. And I just. Again, I'm
so
at sea.
It just depends on what you're doing, where you're at.
Yeah.
Dude, my professional background is music, and I am completely lost right now in this conversation.
So
you're still watching that video.
Another thing I like to do. So Florida is.
I don't know who you're talking about. Any of these people, I have no idea who you're talking about.
Florida is really big on very intense thunderstorms, and something I like to do. I'll throw on Metallica or Disturbed. While the most intense storm is happening when I'm sitting in the back porch.
Okay, now I know what that is, obviously.
Yeah, having a bourbon or something, just watching lightning explode everywhere. It's pretty intense storms out here, but that just marries right up to that music too.
Nice.
So,
what's your all-time favorite movie?
Ooh.
First thing just came to mind. What was it?
I would say Count of Monte Cristo.
The Count of Monte Cristo.
Yeah.
Tell me about that.
Well, so I can't remember.
I've heard of it, but I can't remember.
It was a movie that was out a while ago. Basically, it was the guy that played. I'm bad with names on this, but the guy that played, Jesus on
the Mel Gibson movie.
That actor, prior to making that one, he made this movie called The Count of Monte Cristo, and this is a great story of just this dude that got screwed over like by every imagination in jail, and it's this big redemption story. It's kind of like.
What's it set in?
It's set in the, I guess, the late 1700s France.
Okay.
And this dude gets screwed over by his best buddy. His best buddy not only screws him over, but then takes his wife, his girlfriend, like just does in the dirtiest way imaginable. And this guy is able to, he made not to spoil, but I highly recommend it. If you like Shawshank Redemption, you'll like this movie.
Okay.
I like redemption stories.
So it's a redemption.
It's a redemption thing. And
Red Dead Redemption.
Yeah. But it's not a redemption for him morally. It's a redemption for him. He's always been a good guy. And he had to go and come out of it.
He finally gets a break.
He got a break. He got out of it. And he had to let go of his good guy side to embrace a little bit of, I'm going to get these people back who screwed me so bad.
Got to play a little dirty.
It's just a little bit dirty, and it shows how he gets back, and he comes out.
I'll have to watch that. I've never watched that.
Count of Monte Cristo.
I'll add that to my playlist, definitely. What is your next gotta have, want to have, as soon as you have the opportunity, the time, you're going to go out and you're going to get it? Could be anything.
Well, I probably would get a small airplane.
Okay, like a Cessna or something?
Like an SR-22. The thing that's holding me back.
SR-22?
Yeah, it's a Cirrus aircraft, Generation 6.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so
I was thinking of the Lockheed Martin.
Yeah, no, and it's
SR-71.
That's
SR-71, that's right.
Yeah, so the SR-22. But the problem with that is you got hangar fees, and there's not hangars available. But just to have something that I can go take the family down to.
Is that like a twin engine?
No, it's a single motor. It has a little integrated parachute in it.
And by family, he means me and Matt.
Yes. Or do business trips with it.
Absolutely.
But that would be a good one to do. But there's the logistics of it, and then of course, in my head it's like I gotta have it. I want it real bad. But how often am I going to use it? Is it going to sit in the hangar too much? So generally, what keeps me from getting it is just the practicality at this point in my life.
Yeah, you're too practical, man.
Yeah.
It's the military in you.
Yeah. So
Too
like,
practical.
if I get it, it's going to sit a lot.
No, what is like, as soon as I've got the time, this is like, I'm buying this, not something other than that. Don't think practical. It's just like, this is going to happen. I'm buying this. Maybe it's a new CD from somebody, or it's a new car. Or,
Did you say CD?
Yeah, CD.
I don't think people buy CDs anymore.
Well, you know what I mean.
You can't buy a new
You
vehicle
download
with a
it.
CD player. Yeah.
You don't even have to buy those anymore.
A new album.
New album. Yeah, you're going to go buy a new album. People do buy those. Those are coming back. Albums.
Yeah.
They have been back for a while.
That's hard. That's hard to think about. You know, that's weird.
Maybe it's the new grill for the house or something like that.
Yeah. Oh wait. All right. Now, so I do think about things, and it passes my mind. I don't tend to obsess about something that I really, really want or need at this moment. Let's see with the house. Man.
Maybe it's an improvement to the house you're going to do.
Yeah.
We'll come back to that.
Yeah,
one.
come back to that. That's
we'll
hard.
come back to that. One. So we'll do this one now. So, laws be damned, money be damned. What would you do or own? Anything.
Laws be damned.
Money be damned.
Money be damned.
Can't say a boat.
No, it's not a boat.
Your dad already took that.
Probably a flying weapons turret to go hog hunting with. So I would want to have
like
something
a C-131 with all the guns in it.
Yeah, so just like a drone that I can strap on a targeting system on it that I can then go fly with a thermal optic on it into the woods and hunt with that. So laws be damned. So I was like, all right, I want to go.
Laws be damned. Yeah. Money be damned.
I want to go over and go deer hunting. So I sit back, in my truck that has a thing. Drone goes up, just kind of hover around. I see a little white spot. Zoom in. Yep, that's a deer. Bam, it's down. I go out and grab it.
From the drone.
Or hogs.
I think those exist already.
They probably do, but laws be damned. I can't get one. So,
make it a heavy lift drone. So you shoot it and
then I
you
can
can
lift
scoop
it
it out of
back.
there, yeah.
Right? Instead of having to pack it out.
Yes.
Yeah.
Lift it out.
But again, I do enjoy just traditional hunting as well. The one thing probably boar hunting I would go out and use because that's an invasive species here in Florida.
Yeah.
And just to fly around and just
take them out.
Just take out an entire herd of those.
Get one of those that does like multiple targets.
Exactly.
And it just pop, 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 pop.
Yeah. I enjoy very much the field to fork kind of thing. So for the deer hunting, it would probably mess the meat up pretty good if I did that.
KELTEC minigun drones.
You get one of those and mount that on a.
There you go. Have a nice hard
which we can't talk
there.
about, but we haven't talked about that yet.
No, we haven't talked about that yet.
We'll get through these questions. Okay, I'm a hunter too. I like hunting too. So deer hunting and hog hunting, just like I said, just to eradicate.
Yep. Just yeah.
But I like the thrill of the hunt and actual
Stalking.
me doing it and that kind of thing. All right, next question. That was is there anything, maybe a piece of kit or a firearm, and it could be something else, that maybe you're a little bit ashamed to admit that you own? Maybe a little guilty pleasure that not a lot of people know about.
Taurus curve.
If people knew that about me,
I love
Man,
that.
I have a Chinese-made AK-74 in my office, and I like it.
what? That's like you're a hero, dude. That's not anything to be ashamed of.
Well, it's
That's,
made in China.
that's perfect.
True.
That's okay.
I feel embarrassed about that. I should have got like a Russian one.
But those things are crazy expensive.
Those are
Yeah.
That's like
everybody wants one.
Oh yeah,
It's like a holy grail, dude.
Yeah.
really?
And that's in your office?
Yeah, it sits there on the wall.
I got to
shoot
see
it,
that
yeah.
before we leave.
Absolutely.
I got to see that before we leave.
Yeah, that's
So I do this segment. You don't know this, but I do this monthly segment. It's called the Talking Lead AK Corner. And
Okay.
all we talk about are AKs.
sweet.
So that's why my eyes just went.
Yeah,
Just
yeah.
like, you got a Chinese AK?
I like American-made stuff.
Well, of
Me
course.
too.
And if I'm thinking AK stuff, I'm like, let's just go straight to Russia for that. And
True.
this kind of landed in my lap was a Chinese-made one, but
the
works.
the Chinese are masters at making other people's stuff.
Sure.
So they do the AK well. Have
Yeah.
done the AK well. Okay, so there's that question. So the next question is,
So
Do you believe
his answer is anything Chinese made that he had that he
anything
owns.
Chinese?
Yeah.
He's ashamed. He's a little bit ashamed.
iPhone.
But we just
Exactly,
comforted you in that
Thank
it's
you.
okay to own that.
Thank you.
that
I feel
AK.
good now.
When it comes to the belief in aliens or Bigfoot, where do you stand on that?
It's a funny thing you can have with this. Now this can
And
arch,
being an
this can
aviator.
arch for another hour.
I never set a time limit on my shows.
Yeah, well, since everybody seems to be talking about the news, we have tracked a UFO in our airplane.
Really?
Yep, we have tracked one. Of course, remember, we're a surveillance aircraft.
Uh-huh.
We're in North Arabian Sea.
Which is perfect for finding
Anything.
UFOs.
Yeah, so we found a hovering target at 80,000 feet, which either is a weather balloon, but it was completely stationary, just locked into a Latin log that was not moving, not even like 15 knots or anything.
Are you hitting it with all the different thermals and?
Yeah,
and
it's taken there's an object out there that's taken a return into our computer that says there's a contact out there 80,000 feet in a hover. And so what they do is like there's nothing like that, so they delete the return. It could be an error in the computer and it comes back. And they're like, all right, they delete it again, it comes back. They're like, okay, so something might be wrong with our computer, so let's turn it off and let's manually track it. And there is something out there at 80,000 feet at a zero, like completely rigid, not moving, like it was on a tall tower, locked in place, returning a bounce off of our emissions. Then this thing goes within 10 seconds down to 5,000 feet. 10 seconds.
From 80 to 5.
Yes.
Holy
and then it
crap.
tracks over at 5,000 feet, moving at Mach 3, just one direction. So we call up a couple of Hornets. Now this is on the backside of a mission in Afghanistan, so we're getting ready to recover nighttime at this
What year
ship.
is this?
2010.
2010. Okay.
2010. And so we're all stacking up to get ready to land on the carrier at nighttime. So a lot of people are doing fuel planning stuff, but these two guys just came off mission. They have plenty of gas, so we tell them, hey, do you see something? 320, 5,000 feet, it's tracking this high speed target. They lock it up. It's like, yep, we got it. It's like, what is it? And then they start chasing it down.
What was their description?
They just said there's a target at 5,000 feet, and then traveling to Mach 3.
Did they get actual eyes on, or was it all instrument?
It was nighttime, and
Okay.
they just got it onto their targeting radar. It wasn't like the one where everybody saw that
The
black and
tic-tac
white one,
thing?
tic-tac thing. That's actually their FLIR system that locked it up visually. This was not a visual contact, but it was performing in behaviors that does not exist in terms of technology. Then it stops immediately. It stopped after going Mach 3 to 0 instantly, which would kill any organism inside that kind of thing. And then it moved in another direction towards the carrier. And then it stopped.
Elon.
Then it
Elon
stops,
Musk.
and then it goes zipping right up. Boom. Just straight up. And then it's gone. And
beyond
then
any altitude
yeah,
you could track.
Exactly. Then we land, and then we get all our tapes because everything's recorded, and we pass it down to like the combat information system area and the intelligence area, and we look at it, and you guys know what this is? No, but it's common to see weird stuff like this. And then you just pass it off, and that's it. Then you go on the next day. But I remember sitting down there, we're just kind of staring at each other, going like, what the hell was that? Like, and of course now you're thinking, man, this stuff exists. Like, there's no bullshit on this. So that was 2010.
I mean, there's no way that could have been a manned. No human could have been in that.
No, if it was
it's
worst
either a drone
case,
or
I'll tell you how our government thinks about this. They would rather have it be extraterrestrials than another country with that technology.
yeah.
Because we understand human beings and human nature. We don't. There could be peaceful aliens out there. We don't know their intention, but we know for sure if there's another country with that technology, that is more dangerous to us than an extraterrestrial.
Yeah.
Because we know ourselves.
Which is why I think they have come out with all this tic-tac and alien stuff.
Yeah.
UAPs is what they call them.
There's
they
so
call them
many
now.
observations nowadays.
But yeah, I think it's another technology, another country's technology. I don't think it's alien.
Well, if it's
That's
our,
my- that's my
hopefully
opinion.
it's just our. Maybe it's a black budget. Maybe it's a black budget system.
It's our own.
and we just don't know about it, and that's that. And that could also explain secrecy around it too, because if we own this technology, then we don't want everyone to know we have it, and we're like, yeah, aliens,
Yeah.
But it's our own technology.
But this was 13 years ago.
yeah.
Yeah, 13 years ago you saw this.
So there's some dude sitting in a control room right now going, hey, you know what? Let's mess with Adrian.
Yes, he's out there flying. Let's go mess with him. Yeah.
Did you get an idea of the size of the object? Could your instruments tell you the
The cross section generally would be aircraft size. We wouldn't pick up like a Sparrow or Bird or a little mini drone or anything like that. We wouldn't have the fidelity to figure out the exact dimensions of this and what it does.
So bigger than a bread box, smaller.
Yeah.
You can't.
No, it would be probably the size of
a C-130.
At least an automobile.
Okay.
But probably no bigger than 747.
Gotcha.
So something around that size. So, but yeah, no, we're like, yeah, best case it's our technology. Worst case it's
and
their
you weren't
technology.
the only one. The whole crew saw this.
Everybody saw it. Yeah.
Plus the
fighter guys.
The fighter guys.
Yeah.
And have any of you come out and talked about this?
Not publicly, no. And there's enough and better observations of these phenomenon now than what we would have to bring to the communication. But when people ask me, have you experienced this stuff? Okay, yeah, I have. And I kind of talk about the description of it.
Yeah. Is that the only one or are there others?
That's the only one for me. But I know other pilots who I've worked with that have seen stuff come in, like they'll see the ocean kind of bubbling, then they see the shape come out and zip right up into the air.
Just be gone.
Straight up.
Wow.
Out of the ocean. Here's a scary thing. You guys probably don't realize this. When you're doing transoceanic flying, either from here to Europe or from here to over to Asia, there's a period of time which you get off of the VHF communication frequencies and you go to HF, and that's just passively monitored. The aircraft are flying completely disconnected from anything else. There is satellite communication for like engines, and you can go and do a sat phone call. But when we hit oceanic flight, we take our headsets off, and we put on a movie, and we just sit back and just go. And if you turn like on Google Earth, and you can orient it right, you see the entire breadth of the Pacific Ocean is like one side of the planet. We have no clue what's over in there. It's not observed. There's no radar over there. There's maybe a ship that has like sightline distance of like 5 miles. But
why is that?
That's just, there's no way. Why? There's nothing out there to really watch. Why do we want it?
Because we don't know what's out there.
Exactly. But
because it's the unknown. It's the great unknown, man.
But you'd have to be monitoring it with radars all the time. But there's no real practical reason to do it.
Are other countries?
I can't imagine why. Maybe some sonar buoys out there to monitor for submarine stuff. But having active radar systems, the only people who are going to be doing that are going to be military vessels. But they're not scanning for aliens. They're looking for other aircraft penetrating their space. Their space.
Yeah. Wow.
Yeah, it's interesting.
Talking Lead is the show for exclusives. There you go.
There you go.
You just heard it here. You might be getting calls from Joe Rogan. You might be on Joe Rogan next.
Oh, jeez.
That's a great story.
Yeah,
I like that.
Then Adrian gets on. He's like, yeah. So
what about Bigfoot?
Enough about the aliens. Let's talk about the P-50 Defender.
How about Bigfoot?
I don't know Bigfoot. That's like I was the same way about unknown technologies with aviation, and I'm not a big Bigfoot guy. I didn't research much, and it doesn't interest me.
There you go.
Honestly, so it's like maybe.
So if I were to organize a Bigfoot hunt,
I don't know if I can go.
Would you go? Because you're a hunter. I'm a hunter, but we're not going to kill him. It's to capture. It's just to capture.
Okay. Well, I'll in my head, I'm thinking we're not going to find a Bigfoot. We'll probably have a good time in the woods. That's what I think.
I'll
probably go for that.
And that's the purpose of doing that.
Yeah,
this is actually a great excuse to come up with an RFB and 300 Win Mag or something.
Go on a Bigfoot hunt. Get outdoors.
Yeah.
Sit by a fire, talk about Bigfoot.
But you didn't really answer whether you believe in aliens or not.
Oh, I see. I think it's more likely than not. If you had to put a gun to my head, do you believe? I'll probably say yes.
Yeah.
It's based off what I've seen personally. I would say yes.
So you believe that they're possibly aliens and they have visited Earth?
Have and are continuing to, yes.
And continue to. Okay.
Yeah. And how are they doing that? What is the and you'd ask a bunch of questions. What is the closest star? Why do we exist? And are they allowing us to continue to exist?
Could be dimensional travel.
It could be, yeah. It's like warping space for great distances. Maybe they have
right.
Like,
it's
I don't know.
Obviously some technology that's beyond our comprehension at this point.
Exactly.
But doesn't mean it doesn't exist.
Correct.
What was that Rumsfeld said? We know what we know. We know what we don't know.
Right.
We don't know what we don't know. Something along those lines.
Can I interrupt this nonsense just for a second?
Nonsense?
I'm talking to Kalani Laker.
Kalani, yeah.
Yeah. I sent him a picture of us just now, and he's like, Talking Lead podcast. And he says, I had a Talking Lead t-shirt, and I gave it to a naked chick. He said,
a naked chick?
He said, it's a super soft shirt. She still texts me all the time that she loves it.
And why was she naked? That's a.
I didn't get any
Is
details.
this like a random?
There's a naked chick walking down
I
the
don't
street.
want any
Hey,
details.
take one of
We
these.
are known for having the most comfortable, softest T-shirts.
Exactly. Now we can
Anyway.
continue back with the aliens. Sorry,
Yes.
I just thought that was hilarious.
We need to ask him about the American Hunting Challenge. Did you get an answer on that too?
I didn't ask him
You
yet.
didn't ask him about that
No,
yet?
but we will. We should just have him on. He said, dude, get me on the podcast.
All right, we'll do it. We'll get him on.
Okay.
All right, last question. Final. I know you got to go.
All right.
If you could spend the day at the range with anyone or any group of people, still alive, dead, or fictional, it could be a combination of any of those. Who would you like to spend the day at the range with?
So there's a guy I went to school with. His name's Billy Looney, and he's a Navy SEAL. And I would like to spend a day at the range with him. One, because the last time I saw him, he was a lacrosse player and a complete idiot. And I want to spend the day. And of course, that's not the case anymore. I don't know him, but he joined the teams. And last time I talked with him was out of college, and we were all idiots. But I want to see just how that world's changed him and kind of
Find out how he got there.
how he how he got, because he went over into the Supply Corps and then he ended up in the Navy SEALs. That's probably a great story.
Oh, wow.
And we've disconnected since then. I haven't spoken, but I always think about him every now and then because for me, knowing him as a college kid and then knowing he went to the teams, is such a strange concept for me. And I'm just to spend a day at the range with him and talk to him about his stories and kind of see how he handles his weapons platform. And I'll tell you, I used to live on base when I was in Virginia Beach at the Little Creek Amphib Base. And there's teams out there, and you can listen to them practice, and they practice all the time. It's like shooting well and shooting accurately is a tritable skill, and the guys that are at peak performance do it all the time. They practice it all the time.
I've got a couple guys like that too. I grew up with and high school with, and I'm like, you didn't become a ranger. I don't even believe you. Right?
There's no way.
Yeah, another guy's a SEAL as well, and
You're an idiot. There's no way you could do that.
You're like, oh, they're just letting anybody in, but it's a
Knuckleheads.
testament to like what the military can do for people, and how it can change people and push them forward. Yeah.
Yeah, there's no predeterminer for people who enter into the teams or anything like that. The guy you think is huge with tattoo sleeves all the way down are probably the first to fail.
Yeah,
it's the small dudes
typically, yeah,
who actually, put more of their effort to get the dude next to him to push than themselves. And in that collaboration, they go through it. Yep. And I guess that's the secret sauce.
So what's his name? Billy Looney?
Yeah, Billy Looney.
Billy, if you're listening, get in touch with Adrian. 555.
555.
So you don't want Red to join you from Red Dead Redemption?
Oh, that guy. Yeah, I don't know if he actually is the actor. I don't know.
No, it could be fictional.
Oh, fictional character.
You could do fictional too. You could bring Red from the video game to the range with you.
Yeah.
Or you could go to his range.
Right.
No,
I'd probably do somebody that I haven't, that is who's probably had a really interesting story in life, and just catch up on the range.
There you go. Very good.
Has anybody said Ted Nugent?
I think in over the 10 years he's come up at least once or twice, but not a lot. No, not a lot. We've had
he's wild.
Teddy Roosevelt.
That'd be a good one.
Had him
go hunting with him
a couple of times. Yeah, a lot of people say their dads that have passed away.
Yeah,
they
sure.
like to bring their dad back and do that. That's always my answer. That's been my answer. That's my reason for the question when I originally came up with it. Yeah.
Nice.
But yeah, so Adrian, there you go. You have made it through the new guy questions unscathed. You're in one piece.
Thank you.
And,
good answers too.
So yeah, some of the best answers that I've had in the 10 years. So that's perfect for our 500th episode.
Yeah,
that was great. So I think to cap it off, if we can talk about the new firearm that's in front of us here. I'm still not going to say it until you give the green light that we can talk about it.
Yeah, I'll have to talk to Parker on. So we're immediately releasing this product. It's coming real soon for that. Now, what we're planning on doing this particular product, we're have 500 already made. You can pass it on to me.
Okay, there we go.
So this looks like a P50, but it does have a collapsible stock. Yes, it is an NFA item. This is a rifle. This is a short-barreled rifle.
It's an SBR.
It's an SBR.
In that configuration.
Correct. And we've produced about 500 of these. And we've already talked to some of our distributors to carry these. They're going to pre-stage those, and then they're going to release it, and then of course get the NFA process going. And this idea came out of getting a lot of requests for the P50 of folks who are wanting to turn theirs into an SBR. So they're asking about kit systems. And yes, we are working on a very easy to install kit system for those of you guys who do have P50s to convert it over to a rifle.
You will have to register them.
Yes,
correct?
you'll have to register them, and there's a process for that. And we'll make sure we have all the literature there to make sure you guys don't get yourselves in trouble. But this particular one, out of the box, is a rifle. So it has our collapsible stock system with the P50. So this
it's the ambi. You can go
correct
either side with the
exactly
keeping your ambi theme going.
Correct. So it came out of a popular request for us. So we were just bringing this into the product line as an offering for those who are interested in the R50 Defender, and that's what we're going to be calling this, the R50 Defender, out of our Defender series of rifles.
Very nice.
Yeah,
I want to clarify something with the R50 P50 combo. Initially, when the P50 came out, we were going to offer a stock and barrel kit that you could buy and install, but after realizing how difficult it is to install the stock and barrel, like just for the average person,
right?
We decided against that idea. So we've got some things on this and some other things on the horizon to accommodate for that.
Yep.
Yeah.
Conversion.
The ease of conversion was something that we paid a lot of attention to. So we're using our best gunsmiths who were, when we saw that they were kind of struggling, and in some cases kind of screwed it up to where springs pop out, or like, I don't know if this is good.
It can be done. There's just too much that can go wrong for the average person. So
but our plan to address that is a pretty sound one, and it doesn't involve the customers breaking anything apart. Just one simple screw and a quick swap out, and now they have themselves a rifle. And that's where we're going to apply the process for folks who want to convert themselves.
Okay.
All right. So
and it's going to be more affordable than the original plan.
Yeah.
Yes, exactly.
And then, eventually they're going to overturn the pistol brace thing like they did the bump stock.
So exactly. So
I see that happening.
So,
but at this point in time, they're not available.
So this right here, the Defender series originally was going to be a brace system, and it would have the dimensions required to be completely compliant with the law. Now with the shenanigans with the government and the brace system, we decided, if you're going to call a brace a SBR anyways, let's just go full blown SBR. And that's where we are right now. So if the laws do change, it's
you guys will
exactly. It's not a far stretch to release this system with a bracing platform on it for those of us in the community that have some physical disabilities that may need that extra leverage to shoot their pistols properly.
Yeah. So I see that you guys are putting a lot of effort and technology into the 5.7 round there. Anything else coming along that is going to be using that round from you guys?
Well, you're just going to have to wait and see. That's you
Yeah.
have to wait and see.
Possibly.
Well, we're there's a lot of stuff in development right now. Like I said, with George having completely undistracted design opportunities these days, we have a lot of products in the lineup that we would love to get off. If I could snap my fingers, have a line of manufacturing going, I think there's a lot of really cool stuff down the horizon that's going to make people pretty excited for what we'll do. I think the biggest thing for us is that when we get a breakthrough in new firearms technology, that we have a class of pistol. So, if whatever it is, like a 9mm or 380 or 32, the first release of that particular series is the first release of the series. And we're really liking the idea of integrating new emergent technologies across an entire spectrum of compatible cartridges for the marketplace. So we listen to everybody. We listen to our customers. We read the comments. We like to see that engagement. Our designers are watching those kind of things, especially, when George makes a new breakthrough in mechanical technology, there is scalability allowed. Scalability, what I mean by that is, going from like a 223 to a 6.5 Grendel or a 308 or something. That's scalability. 300 blackout. That's scaling that particular technology to a different cartridge. And the same applies to our series of products like sub 2000. We have a 40 cal variant, we have 9mm. Been a lot of requests for 10mm 45 as well. So that's a scaling challenge, and that doesn't require a George Kellgren level brain to do that. That's pretty.
It's doable.
It's doable engineer
Yeah.
work for any of our staff engineers to do that.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't want to say any more about 45 and 10 millimeter, but
Okay. This is the
yeah,
show for
our-
exclusives,
yeah, our
by the way.
our engineering staff as well. Like they, again, like you guys have to keep in mind, KELTEC. We have 320 employees.
Yep.
That's total. That's everybody from the guys, the janitor that comes every Friday to George himself and everybody in between, all guys in the machine shop. So, our engineering staff is actually really, really small compared to every other manufacturer out there. So they've got a lot on their plate because, again, these guys, it's like drinking out of a fire hose when it comes to George. And because George is always, he's constantly. Like the guy has more energy than all of us combined, really. I actually heard, I was in Derek's office one day, and George was in there. They're like, yeah, come on in. And sat there for a second. They finished up their conversation. And at the end of it, Derek's like, Dad, just stop. We got to slow down. We can't release 4 guns this year.
Right.
Like let's just do 1 or 2, So that's George's mentality. He's a kid in a candy shop, like I said, like with designs and stuff. He just absolutely loves doing this. But our staff have to like pump the brakes, like, and that's why Adrian's job is extremely difficult because he has
Challenging, to say the
yeah,
least.
he's got to delegate all that stuff and regulate all that stuff.
Yeah, so the one of the things that we do when we come up with a new product, it's an emergent and a technology platform to diversify various cartridges. So we'll start a game plan. It's like, all right, we released like P15 now. Can that be scaled to a micro size? Can that technology be scaled to a large format? And then we do design plans to get that going. And then my dad will show up going, this thing just worked. What is this thing that worked? And then I look and it's like, that's pretty cool. Let's bump off everything we're planning and get this thing now in the design field. There's a lot of work we wanted to do with the RDB. There's still work with the RDB with various calibers and chamberings and as well as a metal edition that kind of looks like technology from the 1940s. That's M43. I mean, folks can look this up on Google. We actually had prototypes designed on that, and then we immediately moved into some new pop technology that we wanted to get into the marketplace before we kind of do a scaling of an existing product, because he's trying to get the newest stuff out there as quickly as possible,
Right.
for patentability reasons and his general excitement for a breakthrough technology.
Yeah,
Well,
there's
and
method.
when the window's open for that, you
Correct.
got to strike when the time's right too.
Exactly.
Yeah, there's a method to the madness, and I know a lot of people have been asking for certain calibers, certain sizes of our existing guns, and things like that. But
Right.
I'm glad Adrian came on and explained that, because there's a reason you haven't gotten a 45 ACP or a 10 millimeter sub 2000. It's not that not hard to do at all. It's not hard to do at all for even our engineers. Much less George himself. But
Have you? And I'm sure the answer is yes to this. Does he give you access? Do you get to see his designs, his works in progress, and
Yep.
does he give you access to those and ask for your input? And
No, he doesn't ask for anybody's input. No, let alone my own. I mean, there's stuff that folks like. The big thing that he doesn't like is ornamentalities, and what I mean by that is features on a firearm for the explicit purpose to look cool.
Yeah.
If it has no function at all whatsoever, he is not interested in putting it in there. And there's an entire thing to be said about making a platform look beautiful and making it tactical and all that stuff. If it serves no functioning utility at all whatsoever, it shouldn't be in there, because it's more time to manufacture it, and that drives costs up. And for him, he wants to make sure it's as affordable as possible to
and
them.
functional.
Case in point, the original RDBs, when he was R&Ding those, had probably 20 or 30 more parts in the gun. So he throws everything at the wall, gets a design, gets it to the range, function tests everything, and then starts pulling back like, oh, well, we realize we don't need that part to make this part do whatever. And I'm not an engineer, so forgive me for the dumb speak. But yeah, so he tries to, like, if it's not necessary, it doesn't go in the gun.
Sure.
Yeah. So that's why when you pull an RDB apart, you're like, there's nothing in here.
Right. It's very simple.
Super simple design. Yeah.
Making something simple is the hard part.
Yeah.
I mean,
But
they're all that way. Sub 2000, same way. You take
Yeah.
take it apart. It's just
So I would say, not to correct you, but initially, George, when he's designing something, he wants to get this. This is what's in his mind. This is what he wants in his gun safe. Like he has the big picture, the ultimate goal. Once he has a functioning prototype of that gun, then he'll ask, because I've even had him ask me questions down at the range, and I'm just like, you're George Kellgren. I'm not going to tell you, like,
you're right.
You know what I mean?
There's one aspect that he does ask for people's input, and you're right. You just reminded me this. He will walk around with a prototype and ask people to hold it.
Does it fit in your hand? Do you like how it feels?
Yeah. How does this feel? And then he'll give you feedback. Do you like this? Does this feel good, or does this feel good? He will do that. That's 100% for sure. Yeah, I forgot about that.
And if you do catch him in the range, he'll. I mean, it could be anybody too at the company. Like everybody's input, everyone's input is important.
Sure.
But the overall general design is his. I mean, obviously his name's on the side of the gun.
Final say so.
Yeah, he does go to a pool of people for the ergonomics, the actual fit and feel. He'll find the guy with the biggest hands and say, hold this, how does this feel? And then his guys with the smallest hands try this, how does it feel? And then he does model that off of feedback, for sure.
And then I think some of the details of the gun to finish up, the engineers get to do the sights, the engineers get to do some of the bells and whistles on the gun and stuff like that. Yeah. Yep. But again, like Adrian said, if it doesn't need it, then it's not going on there.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, guys, thank you so much. I appreciate it. This has been probably one of my most favorite shows in the 500 episodes that I've done.
500. There you go.
Had a fellow aviator with me here, so that was good.
Thanks for bringing me on.
Good speak there. Love those stories.
Great stories, yeah.
Very good stories. And we got to release the big giveaway. So the announcement is out. It's ready, guys. The wait is over. September. The whole month of September, we'll be doing the Talking Lead and Friends Freedom giveaway.
Yeah.
America.
Somebody's getting a big old gift in October.
With all of our sponsors for this giveaway, Mission First Tactical. I'm going to go through everybody. Firebird Targets. We've got Inforce. We've got Walker's Ear. We've got Tactical RX. We've got Seal 1. We've got Vortex. We've got, STA Blades. We got to make sure we keep that handy. Defiant Munitions for the ammo. Kraken Cases. KELTEC with the awesome 3 guns. The KS7, the RDB, and the P15. And that custom holster from Mission First Tactical. Who am I forgetting?
Your printer?
Yep.
Yeah.
Dipstick graphics,
Kraken,
and the Kraken cases, and everything we mentioned. So we're going to have a list, so you'll be able to go. You'll be able to sign up for it. Be looking on our website, our social medias, for links to the Gleam giveaway that we're going to be setting up.
The next giveaway, Adrian takes you up in an E2 over the Arabian Sea.
I would love that.
Wait for a sandstorm to come out too.
Yeah. As long as there's not a sandstorm, I would love to do that. But Leadheads, thank you all for an amazing 10 years, 500 episodes, and we're going to continue to crank them out for you. So email me, talkinglead@gmail.com, if you've got guests that you'd like us to have on the show, topics you want us to discuss. I love hearing from you, Leadheads. And then, Chad, do you want to announce the winner of the little swag pack giveaway that you did on Instagram?
Oh, yeah, I forgot. Yeah, I looked at that last night. What's his...
I can't get service. Can you get service? Pull up your phone there.
Yeah. Hang on a second.
And so we did a tour of the factory. We've got some video we're going to be putting out of that. And we were at this one of your machines that was milling out a part. And Chad's like, whoever can tell me what that part is wins a KELTEC swag pack. The first person. Yeah.
How long did it take?
First person.
First guy?
First person nailed it. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. Can you sort them by recent and then go to the very first
We know who this is, don't we? Bill?
No, he wasn't the first one.
Oh, he wasn't?
No, he wasn't the first one.
Okay.
So if you can sort them by recents.
Yeah, let me see. Well, you might be able to do it.
I think it is Mustang Perry.
Oh, that's a solid.
I think Mustang Perry.
Solid
Long-time listener. I think he He just won a couple of giveaways ago. That's the great thing about our show is you can win multiple times.
Nice.
Just not during the same giveaway.
Mustang Perry, we need a shirt size.
Mustang Perry. We'll hit you up on the grams too and let you know. But congratulations to Mustang Perry and thanks to everybody who participated in that. And I look forward to seeing all you guys participate in this giveaway. And during the entire month, we're also going to be doing giveaways to promote this giveaway. So one winner is going to win all this, but multiple winners throughout the month. Listen to the podcast, watch our social medias, watch KELTEC social medias because we're going to be doing giveaways for Mission First, KELTEC, SEAL 1, everybody. Everybody. Yeah, it's going to do additional giveaways to you guys, but you have to participate. You have to listen, and that's how you win. Here on the Talking Lead Podcast. So that does it. That wraps up the 500th episode. Guys, it's been great.
Crazy.
Thanks again for hosting me here at Coco. Love your facilities. Love your people. This is my first time here. 10 years you guys have been supporting the show.
Really? Wow.
Yeah, it's weird. I asked him yesterday. I'm like, have you been here before? He's like, no. I'm like, I could have swear.
Yeah, you have to go out west and see the West facility. Put on that Marty Robbins as you're coming over.
Yes, that's right. You and I are going to go do that, right?
Yeah, we'll do that.
We're going to do that.
Good.
I'll do that. So that's coming up.
I'll say the coolest part about being out there is we had a gun that we put together out there, and we walked outside just around back and just shot in the desert.
So our buddy Paul Markle with Student of the Gun is out there, and they've got some places where we can go and we can shoot for 2,000, 3,000.
Nice.
If we want to. So we'll go out. We'll visit him too. Introduce you to Paul Markle.
Cool.
But until then, Leadheads, as always, keep your loved ones close.
And your firearms closer.
And your KELTEC's closer.
Well, that's fun. Well, thank you for that.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you for.
Just random. What is your first thing you ask?
I've actually got it pretty good.
All right.
This like everybody knows me. If they grab me this drink, they know me.
We didn't think we had anything else for you, but we do.
But yeah, you thought it was the end, but wait, there's more. There's always more with the Talking Lead podcast. So, and I guess I'll add this to the new guy questions because I like this. So, what is your go-to beverage of choice? Adult beverage of choice?
It's going to be a Captain Morgan with Diet Coke.
Captain Morgan. Why is that?
Dude, it just tastes like vanilla. That's
Captain.
Yeah. If I'm at a bar and I just need a drink, or if I'm anywhere, airplane, whatever.
It's your comfort drink.
Captain and Diet.
No, not. Sorry, airport, not airplane. He doesn't drink Captain and Diets in the airplane.
Airport. I'm sitting. I'm airport, or I'm they say, hey, what do you want to drink? Or even if I'm like on a golf course, what do you want as a Captain and Diet? I don't know why.
Why Diet?
Because. Well, one, that's the drink we were raised on is probably not good for me, and they're saying like the aspartame's bad, but it just the flavors are good. I just
so you like
that
the
drink.
Mixture of the
but that's the only time I ever drink Diet Coke.
The vanilla-y, rummy with the Diet.
With the Diet.
So
now I love Captain Morgan's too, and that's one of my favorite. But it doesn't. I don't react well with it. I've been told. It makes me angry.
Two stories. One, I have a question for you. When you first came on board, it was our first trip together to one of the trade shows. We were in the airport. There was probably 5 or 6 of us at the table, and there was a drinking game that you told us about that you and the guys in your squadron and stuff used to do. What is that? Somebody had to buy all the drinks.
Yeah, so it's credit card roulette.
That's it.
Credit card roulette.
Yes.
So there's two types of it's not a drinking game. It's kind of like a gambling game at the very end. Of the meal. So you'll say you're out with like 15 people, and there's going to be a big tab. You can just split it down the middle, which is called a wimp tax. So the wimp tax is you evenly divide the bill across the 15 people. It doesn't matter if the one guy ate nothing and one guy ate everything and had all the drinks. They're paying all the same.
Okay.
That's one way. The other way is credit card roulette, and where everybody puts their credit card in a hat, and then you get the waitress or waiter, whoever, to pull them out one at a time. And everyone that's pulled out is safe from paying. And then you get down to the last two. And one of those two guys is paying for the whole bill. And then the guy that's picked out is safe. And I think I won. And it's when you're the last guy to pay, you actually are the winner. So it's an honor to pay for everybody. So the winner gets to. So there's one game you're trying to lose. Reverse psychology.
It's actually a good thing that you're buying this.
Yeah, so that guy should cheer. Yes, congratulations, you won. Here's the bill. That's the one.
Yeah. I thought that was fun. That was my introduction to traveling with Adrian.
Yes.
The other story I meant to mention this when we were talking about flying and stuff earlier is on one of these trips, it was my first time sitting next to you on the flight, and he was explaining to me exactly what was going on in the cockpit, from taxiing to getting to 10,000 feet and leveling off, and up to leveling off,
dodging storms and all that kind of stuff.
No, he was just telling me like what buttons they're pushing, what they're pulling, all this stuff. I'm like, it was fascinating to me, but now when I get on a flight, I'm like, well, I hope that guy remembers to push that one button. Like, now it scares me.
I
thought they just put it on cruise control and watch a movie. Is that?
No, well, when you're going overseas.
It was really cool. It was really kind of interesting to hear like exactly what's going on up there. Yeah,
the procedural
From a technical
stuff.
standpoint.
Yeah.
Yeah, the Navy copy. So we were probably on a 737. Almost guaranteed if I was being able to describe switchology. And yeah, so they do the same thing all the time, and every single pilot does it. So they rotate at the same airspeed. It's depending on the winds and also the weight of the aircraft, but also when they bring up the gear, when their flaps are sequenced up to the next position, and when they turn on the autopilot, I can tell them when it's turning on and turning off, because you can feel a little bit of that.
It was cool, and the weird thing is he explained it so well. I felt like I understood what he was talking about, and I know nothing about flying.
What's the worst passenger you've ever had?
Oh, the worst passenger I've ever had.
Yeah, on one of your military flights.
Very, very seldom, if I have a bad passenger, do I interact with them, because I can just close the door and ignore them, and then the crew handles the passenger. But
do you ever anybody just freak out?
No. So that's kind of the benefit. I transport military people, and I've never had anybody. We've had medical emergencies where folks kind of like, we need to land to get the guy to an ambulance, but we've never had an unruly passenger like we read about in the news, where like, oh, they're screaming, and there's no alcohol allowed on these airplanes. They're all military guys. Most of them are going from like their boot camp to one of their A schools, or we're moving a SEAL team or a Marine group from one location to another. They're all very good people. Very seldom do they break out in fights. Occasionally, I got a guy, had to pick him up because he got kicked out of his base and he was going to be disciplined over home. Even that guy was nice. It's like. Yeah. Sucks because he got in trouble. I mean, he got drunk and then woke up naked and half dead and on a golf course somewhere. And
you ever done any pranks or practical jokes to somebody during flight?
The thing I've ever done is I walked out. There's a passenger, a Space A guy, which is civilian. I looked out the window at the motor and I nodded. I was like, all right, still there, and I walked right back.
You didn't say, did you see that? It's a gremlin. There's a gremlin out there.
No. And I had to know who that passenger was too, because some people wouldn't take that very well.
Yeah.
So, but that's it.
You gotta know your audience, right?
Correct. Yes, you gotta know the audience.
So, Captain and Diet Coke.
Yes, Captain and Diet.
Captain and Diet.
Credit card roulette.
And then, of course, you can go and break it down into whiskeys and bourbons and all that. And I have go-tos of all those. It really but if there's going to be one I'm going to ask for, right? And it's like, hey, would you like something to drink? I always say, Captain and Diet.
Just your automatic go-to.
I'll try that.
Boom.
Yeah.
Beer? You drink beer?
Yeah,
Beer drinker?
I am a beer drinker, and I've taken on a lot of IPAs these days. I don't have a go-to brand I recommend, but and they're so varied ththese days with the microbrews. But I usually stay with a microbrewery. There's a lot of pop-ups around here in Central Florida. Some of them are good. So generally IPAs are what I'll go for.
Okay. What is George's go-to drink?
Glenmorangie.
That came right out of his mouth. He knew exactly what it was.
Yeah. That's his favorite drink.
Nice.
He'll drink all sorts of other stuff, but that's his favorite whiskey.
Yeah. I've only ever seen him drink wine.
He's big into wine too,
Yeah.
but if you're going to give him a bottle of anything, Glenmorangie is the one.
Nice.
Okay. Maybe that's what keeps him so energetic and youthful.
Yes.
And
dude, the guy, he's got more energy than I do.
Clarity.
Yeah.
It's crazy. Yeah.
Maybe we should all start drinking some more of that.
Yeah.
I need more clarity.
I think your dad, he looks like he's maybe in his 60s. It's nuts.
Yeah, he's great genes, Nordic genes, Nordic blood.
But just his,
Ouija genes, right?
Yeah.
But just the way he moves around. I mean, he's extreme. He's a ninja, dude. He walks so fast across the campus, and he's in great shape.
Was he in the military?
Yeah.
Yep, he was in the Swedish Navy for a bit, not very long, and got out of that. Maybe he wasn't really interested in a career in that side of thing, but his entire family were very military centric. Everybody served. So
how big was his immediate family? Brothers, sisters?
He had a brother, 2 brothers, and there was just the 3 of them. That's their name. So family of 5. And his dad was military, so constantly moving, constantly taking care of himself. His mother was there, but for Swedes, generally they have to learn to pick up their load on their own pretty quick.
Yeah. Now, is that the place that has that stinky fish thing in the can?
Surströmming.
Say it again.
Surströmming.
Have you eaten it?
No, I have not, but I want to because I have family members that have had it, and people put YouTube videos of them trying it and throwing it up because they're just like.
So
you open it underwater. So when you open a can, you put it underwater. You open it because it's too stinky to endure, and then you put it on like yogurt. You eat it with yogurt on a flatbread. That's how it's supposed to be enjoyed.
Rotted, stinky fish on a
flatbread
on yogurt.
Yogurt, and
which
flatbread.
Yogurt is also soured and
They say it's super good, but you don't want to open that can open there. You're going to ruin that room for a long time.
Tun's got a video where he tried it for Tun Jones is a friend of ours. He was over there, and the exact same thing that you're saying right there. Somebody bet him. One of the local guys was like, "Hey, if you can do it, I'll give you $100." Kind of thing. As soon as he opened it, you hear him go.
No. You get like a bucket of water, put it in the water, and then open it underwater, and then you got to take your stuff out and put it onto your food.
Smart.
But that's how they do it, man. That's different cultures. Very ethnic food.
Yeah. So there you go. So this is it. This is really the end of the 500th episode. Things you didn't know about Adrian.
It's a little bonus.
We're going to call this segment.
Yeah.
A little bonus. All right, we're out.
See you.
Yeah, I'm going to add that to the list of questions. That's a good one.